bọ̀dá ìpanumọ́. Bọ́kọ bá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ dùn lọ́wọ́ ní bọ̀dá ìpanudé.
And there it is right there. The language that you've spoken is not to my understanding, young lady. So there it is right there. Good day to you, good to be in your company and all that. Good day to you. We go again, as we always go. There's not an abundance in the news, by the way. You can see somewhat that we're still hanging on to the clutches of yesterday's storyline. So we're not quite sure how this will go. If a panel turns up and they turn up bearing gifts, then we'll have a great session. We'll have a great session nevertheless, but certainly not wrapped around the storylines. But good day to you, good to be in your company and all that. Please say hello as you're coming in so we can return the hellos. There's Agbado Omotinubu right there. Of course, the elegant Choma, the first lady of the the princess of the platform. I think forever until the end, Dupsy will always be the first lady. So that's Choma right there, saying good morning to all of you. That's Ratel right there, saying greetings. So I say hello as you are coming in so we can acknowledge your presence. That's Lit Vlog Igwe, otherwise known as Charles. So there's Charles right there. Good to see you, Charles. All that. So good day to you, good to be in your company and all that. The protocol, click on the like button. At my invitation to do so, do so. If you're not already subscribed, we need 10 new subscribers, so please be one of them. Subscribe. If you want to come and join us on the screen, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So that's your, let me resend it. So if you want to come and join us on the screen, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. It will bring you into the studio. As soon as I finish delivering the talking points, I'll let you onto the screen, invite your thoughts. So do all that. So like, share, subscribe, do all that. Click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard to come and join us on the screen. Super chat towards the stream. Share the links just as widely as you can. So do all those things. So all those things. So let's just get started. We're going to be a bit somewhat Peter Obi is coming. Well, I don't know. That's a matter between himself and his wife, isn't it? If Peter Obi is coming, then lucky him. So all that. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard to come and join us on the screen. Super chat to us to stream. All those things that we always invite you to do. So do them. Let's just get started, shall we? So we're starting then pretty much where we left off. Right, we're starting then, just where we left off yesterday is where we're starting off. So I want you to listen. It's only going to be like a minute. Good to see you, Samuel Adeleke. So it's only going to be like a minute of this clip, but I want to establish something before we carry on into the next story. So listen to the reason that Rufai Hussaini is telling us that Reuben Abati is not in the screen, is not at the studio. So listen to the reasons that Rufai Hussaini is giving for the absence of Reuben Abati.
With the present president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he lost. He lost primary. And he said he did not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he had no capacity. And Nigeria proved him wrong. They said, oh, okay, carry your support and go.
So we must have to say a couple of things. Number one, first and foremost, Dr. Abati did not leave because of the fact that Lere Olayinka, was coming here. We have to restate that. He was indisposed. He couldn't make it here. He called in sick.
Right. He was indisposed. He couldn't make it here. He called in sick. So that's why, that's the reasons being presented. Of course, he would know because he would know why his colleague was not there. So it would tell you then that the guy phoned in sick. So that was the reason he gave. So now Reuben Abati responds to that verbal onslaught by Lere Olayinka. So now here is Reuben Abati's response. EFCC, because a slew of things were alleged. Lere Olayinka spoke about Reuben Abati's his excursions, his encounter with the EFCC. He spoke about that. He spoke about how Reuben Abati used to go and beg James Wike for money. He spoke about that. He accused Reuben Abati of being a spokesperson for Rotimi Amechi, and he accused him of being on Rotimi Amechi's payroll. So yeah, it made a whole slew of allegations. So and now Reuben Abati's right to reply. EFCC apologized to me. This is Reuben Abati speaking on begging Wike for money, being Amechi's aide. So now let's see now. Former presidential aide. Sorry, let me shut her. Hold on. That's better. Yes. Former presidential aide and Arise TV anchor Dr. Reuben Abati has dismissed claims that he approached the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Yemse Wike, for money. Correspondents report that Wike's media aide Lere Olayinka had claimed Abati, alongside his wife, had begged the former Rivers State governor for money to settle a case with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. So a lot of you, of course, should know that Reuben Abati was incarcerated by the EFCC for for weeks, if memory serves me right. So he has history with corruption. This now newfound bastion of righteousness and virtue. Once upon a time a criminal, according to the FCC. A former presidential aide and a Rice TV anchor, Dr. Reuben Abati, has dismissed claims that he approached the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Yemisi Wike, for money. Correspondents report that Wike's aide, Lere Olayinka, had claimed that Abati, alongside his wife, had begged the former Rivers State governor for money to settle a case with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Speaking on Rice TV, Olayinka slammed Abati for turning himself to the spokesperson of former Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi, urging the TV host to resign his job and take up the role of media aide to Amechi fully. Reacting in a statement on Saturday, Abati said he was not Rotimi Amechi's spokesperson, nor did he have his phone number. According to him, he has never approached Wike for money to settle any case with the EFCC, disclosing that the anti-graft agency had apologized to him. The statement reads, "I have never approached Minister Yemisi Wike to beg for money. That is a lie. If anyone, including my ex-partner," so here is an addendum then, here is a get-out clause. So he's not going to pass it on and blame it on his wife. So I have never approached Minister Yemisi Wike to beg for money. That is a lie. If anyone, including my ex-partner, went to him under false pretenses to solicit funds in my name, place a clear disclaimer. Such actions were not authorized by me. Minister Wike reserves every right to call it out as a fraud. Like many others, I was invited by the EFCC for questioning, a lawful and procedural engagement. At no time was I asked to return any money. In fact, the EFCC, under former chairman Ibrahim Magu, later apologized to me. Lere Olayinka clearly misused the word hubris. A basic dictionary reference would have sufficed. I will not indulge further in responding to him directly. He's not my peer. I await a more meaningful conversation, if any, with this principal, not as proxy. And then it goes on to, it says he's not going to respond any further, but it goes on still. I am not Rotimi Amechi's spokesperson, nor do I have his phone number. That is a fabrication. I was not absent from the morning show to avoid any discussion. I was engaged at a pre-scheduled book review for Oprah Benson, Life and Legend, a 550-page publication by Dr. Udu Yakubu. It was a honorable intellectual commitment. I stand firmly by everything I have said regarding Minister Wike. Is a public official occupying a public office. He is and should remain subject to public scrutiny. Nobody in public service is above accountability. So there it is right there. So according to Rufai Hussaini, of course, the absence is attributable to this guy phoning in sick. But according to the guy, he was absent because he had to go to a book launch. But let me, I'm going to take 5 minutes just to go and attend to something momentarily. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me play a bit of music and then we'll come back. Which music is long enough for the period that I need. Let me play you. Let me play you the same song that I played you just earlier. Bear with me.
Oniere Olayinka, Oniere Olayinka, kí ló ṣe mí ṣe wọ́n ṣe jáná ìyàwó, kí ló ṣe mí ṣe wọ́n ṣe jáná ìyàwó. Abu bàbá ọkọ, abu màmá ọkọ, bó bá ń bá kan sọ̀rọ̀ awú bí búrẹ́dì omi, amọ́kọ lójú táyì bẹ́ẹ̀ni kọ́kọ́ ò jẹ́ nǹkankan, bọ́kọ bá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dùn lọ́wọ́ àníbọ̀dá ìpanumọ́, bọ́kọ bá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀dùn lọ́wọ́ àníbọ̀dá ìpanudé.
All right, sorry about that. So that was that. So that's Reuben Abati then caught in a lie. So that's Reuben Abati caught in a lie. What else do we have? Actually, like I said, we don't have an abundance, so we just whiz through what we do have, and then we'll see what happens after that. The PDP are begging Peter Obi to return to the party. I'm not quite sure if that serves any purpose anyway. Although, because the PDP has the machineries of electioneering, maybe it will serve marginally Peter Obi returning there, but who yields to him? That's the thing. But then the PDP has no talents anymore. You have to consider that, because who is left in the PDP? Makinde, Bala Mohammed, Atiku virtually left. So who is left there? Saraki. So there's no real champion left there. So the scouting for a champion now, PDP begs Peter Obi, others, to return to the party. So is this an actual beg or a speculative beg? The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Anambra State, so it's a localized something. Until and unless the chairman of the party is actually making the request, there is not really a request. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Anambra State has pleaded with Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, to return to the party. Mr. Obi defected to the Labour Party when he felt he could not achieve his presidential ambition within the PDP fold. The PDP made the call for the return of Mr. Obi and others after the enlarged meeting of the State Executive Committee, SEC, to review the state of the party and chart a way forward in Oka on Thursday. The communique, signed by Chidebe, the chairman of the PDP in Anambra State, said alliances with ideologically incompatible political formations in guise of coalitions would likely not yield the desired success. So I'm not quite sure if there's any ideology that underpins the Nigerian. I feel that there's somewhat of some sort of ideology, but it's still very much in its fledgling state. The communique signed by Chidebe, the chairman of the PDP in Anambra, said alliances with ideologically incompatible political formations in the guise of coalition would likely not yield the desired result. The committee extends an open invitation to all aggrieved and former members of the PDP in Anambra, particularly our revered former governor, Mr. Peter Obi, to return home and reunite with the now rejuvenated and restructured PDP. So when did that actually happen, that our PDP is restructured, never mind be rejuvenated? We will gladly welcome our brothers and sisters our brothers and sisters back to join us in the collective quest for a better Nigeria, he said. Mr. Chidebe told the Anambra electorate to support Jude Ezenwafo and his running mate, Francis Okeke, in the coming election, whilst urging the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure fair, transparent, and impartial electoral process. So, a fair, transparent, and impartial electoral process is an impossibility in Nigeria. Not that it could never or would never happen, but it could never and will never be acknowledged. So it's just as simple as that. Every losing party, since election became a thing in Nigeria, has always claimed that the umpire was biased and the process was rigged. Nobody, I'm not quite sure, even Goodluck Jonathan, he said the election was rigged, but he considered it anyway. Nobody has yet lost a free and fair election in the history of Nigeria, and nobody ever will. We call on the good people of Anambra to remain steadfast in their historic support for the PDP and to come out en masse to vote for our candidates, he said. So I'm not quite sure. I could check, but I don't think PDP has ever won anything in Anambra State. Anambra, pretty much since the inception of the Anambra, pretty much since the inception of the Fourth Republic, has always been an Abga state. That's my understanding. I may be mistaken. We call on the good people of Anambra to remain steadfast in their historic support for the PDP and to come out en masse to vote for our candidates, he said. He announced the unanimous nomination of Clems Ezike to fill the vacant position of National Exco Executive, whatever Exco means from Anambra State. So that's that. So that's the plea then to try and get Peter Obi back into the PDP. I'm not quite sure how viable that is. Peter Obi is not averse to returning to the PDP, by the way. There's nothing stopping Peter Obi from returning to the PDP apart from opportunities. There are no opportunities for Peter Obi. Peter Obi tells us he's not desperate to be president, but it would not move unless it's on the ticket in 2027. So even the Labour Party ticket looking highly unlikely, but so there it is right there. They plead to get Obi to return to the PDP, especially from coming out of Anambra State. 2027, Lagos Group pushes for Tinubu and Bode re-election. So the only real thing that's making me bring this forward is the Ambode angle to it. Because I'm not quite sure how Ambode's name comes into play. Of course, Sanwo-Olu finishes his second term, so it's an open field within the PDP, within the APC. But is Ambode a viable option, especially as Tinubu has been fraternizing very heavily with the deputy governor of Lagos State in recent weeks? So what does this mean? Lagos Group pushes for Tinubu Ambode's re-election. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, a Lagos-based social-political organization, the Southwest Political Renaissance Group, has declared its support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election and former Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode's return for a second term. The group made its position known. You see, this Renaissance group, it has some cachet within Lagos politics, but I'm not quite sure if where it leans. Is it within the wider caucus of the Tinubu space, or is it a different voice from the Tinubu narrative? If it's within the Tinubu caucus, then that is to tell you then that that space is flying, that Tinubu is flying a kite for Ambode's return. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, a Lagos-based social-political organization, the Southwest Political Renaissance Group, has declared its support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election and former Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode's return for a second term. The group made its position known in a statement signed by its spokesperson, Dr. Sylvester Oguntuashe, affirming that President Tinubu has shown exceptional leadership with policies aimed at wealth creation, economic growth, and national unity. President Tinubu has demonstrated that he is a leader prepared to transform Nigeria through massive infrastructural development, improved security, and job creation. We support continuity in 2027, the statement reads. SWPRG also threw its weight behind Ambode's return, describing him as one of Lagos State's best governors. So the jury is, Lagos State has been blessed with excellent leadership all the way through. Let me send the link again. By the way, there's no one in the studio. If anybody wants somewhat of a micro conversation, you can come in. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be an extended session, but if you want just a little soup song of something, you can come in. Chairman should come to your places through Lere. Look at this guy. Do you know? Chioma, are you going to Agbado's places through Lere? Chioma doesn't go outside of the island though. If she goes, she doesn't want to be stained by the riffraffs. Pardon me, I'm carrying a bit of a cold. I'm not quite sure. I'm carrying a bit of something. Let me take it from the top again. We go at speed. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, a Lagos-based social-political organization, the Southwest Political Renaissance Group, has declared its support for President Bola Tinubu's re-election and former Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode's return for a second term. The group made its position known in a statement signed by its spokesperson, Dr. Sylvester Oguntuashe, affirming that President Tinubu had shown exceptional leadership with policies aimed at wealth creation, economic growth, and national unity. President Tinubu has demonstrated that he is a leader prepared to transform Nigeria through massive infrastructure development, improved security, and job creation. We support continuity in 2027, the statement reads. SWPRG also threw its weight behind Ambode's return, describing him as one of Lagos State's best governors. So that was where I paused. So I was then speculating too that Lagos has been blessed all the way through with excellent governors. Fashola Ambode, that's then succeeded him, and then now on his second half, Sanwo-Olu. So I'm not quite sure who the best of that three. Let's leave Tinubu out for the moment. Let's actually discuss that. That amongst that trilogy, who has been the best governor for Lagos State, Fashola, Ambode, or Tinubu? And would you support then Ambode's return to come and complete his second term? If Ambode returns, by the way, that is to signal then that in 2031, the governor of Lagos State is going to be Seyi Tinubu. That is what that permutation will tell us. SWPRG also threw its weight behind Ambode's return, describing him as one of Lagos State's best governors. The group noted that Ambode was the first governor in the state's recent democratic history to serve only one term despite his remarkable achievements. Ambode, a fine gentleman, a patriot, and a loyal party man, should be recognized and rewarded. It can only begin with offering him the right of first refusal for the APC governorship ticket in Lagos come 2027, Oguntuashe said. So Ambode should, if Ambode was going to be the governor, we should be seeing him coming out more in the media space already by now, but we will see how that plays out. Whilst acknowledging that the incumbent incumbent governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has built upon Ambode's legacy since taking over in 2019, the group said it was time for fairness to prevail. So this group, although of course they are endorsing Tinubu as would be the expectation that they would, but what they are really saying is they are really coming out to fly a kite for Ambode. That's really the purpose of this output. Whilst acknowledging that the incumbent governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has built upon Ambode's legacy since taking over in 2019, the group said it was time for fairness to prevail. We are unequivocally saying that both President Tinubu and His Excellency, former Governor Ambode, are unapologetically our choice for the Tinubu-Ambode 2027 election. They have both demonstrated what good leadership is all about, the statement reads. And by the say, not by the say, but by the way, Ambode will be a shrewd pick. One, if they pick Ambode, he can only serve one time, which is to tell you then that they are permuting for Seyi Tinubu in 2031. But Ambode is also to pass off at the side the trajectory of Chinedu Rose Vivor, because if the field is left virgin with somebody that doesn't already have an established name, then they run the risk of Chinedu Rose Vivor. So if they throw a novice against Chinedu Rose Vivor, it might well gobble them up. So they need a heavyweight to counterweight Gbadebo Rose Vivor or Chinedu Rose Vivor, whatever his name is. We are unequivocally saying that both President Tinubu and His Excellency former Governor Ambode are unapologetically our choice for the Tinubu-Ambode 2027 election. They have both demonstrated what good leadership is all about, the statement added. The group urged Lagosians and Nigerians at large to support both leaders in continuing what it described as noble projects that had already begun shaping the future of the state and the country, emphasizing that the Tinubu-Ambode 2027 election presents a renewed opportunity to consolidate progress made so far. So to consolidate on, I should say, progress made so far. So there it is right there, the kite then being flown for Ambode. So anybody thinking that anything is guaranteed, there are no guarantees in place. So let's go on from that to something a bit more lighthearted. Owners and promoters of 10 most expensive private universities in Nigeria. You know, I'm somewhat reticent. Not even reticent, and I'm somewhat anatomic. Not reticent, but anatomic to the idea of private universities. It seems counters something. I can't find the word that counters. Owners and promoters of 10 most expensive private universities in Nigeria. So we whisk through this one. Over the last two decades, private universities in Nigeria have expanded rapidly from just a handful to dozens, offering alternatives to the often overcrowded and strike-prone public institutions. As of February 2025, there are 149 private universities in Nigeria. I wasn't quite expecting those numbers. I didn't even know there were 149 universities in Nigeria, never mind private ones. And this is coming from Naira Matrix, by the way. They don't often get figures wrong. As of February 2025, there are 149 private universities in Nigeria, making up more than half of the country's 295 total universities. Amongst all these choices, a few stand out for charging fees that most Nigerians can only dream of paying, creating headlines every time school fees are mentioned. These elite universities cater to a small, wealthy segment of society far removed from what the average Nigerian can afford. Behind these top-tier institutions are powerful individuals and organizations ranging from political bodies to business moguls and international investors who have poured resources into building campuses that reflect their vision, values, and status. In this article, so let's say here is a list of the owners of the most expensive private universities in Nigeria. Oyedepo Covenant University, of course. I say, of course, this man with the squeaky voice. I would like to hear a conversation between Oyedepo and Peter Obi. That would be TV gold, wouldn't it? Covenant University is a private Christian university owned by the Living Faith. It was founded by David Oyedepo, etc. The university is located in Ogun State. It is affiliated with the Association of Commonwealth Universities, etc., etc. Covenant University operates a single urban campus in Ogun State. The university governance, how much are they charging? The tuition fees, that's really what we're interested in, isn't it? The tuition fees for most undergraduate programs range from 1.5 million to 1.7 million per session, depending on the specific department and course of study. So that's number 10. Where's the rest of the list? Where's the rest of the list? They said that number 10. It's a drop-down menu. Oh, all right. So I'll just read it off here. I'm not going to go through one by one, though. So it's a drop-down menu. So number 10 is Covenant University. Number 9 is Redeemers University, which will be Pastor whoever did Daddy Gio, Adepoye, yes. So number 10 is Covenant University. Number 9 is Redeemers University. American University of Nigeria, I think that's Atiku Abubakar. Bowen University, Lead City University, Afe Babalola University. So that is just to tell you the arrogance and the hubris of the man naming a university after himself. Afe Babalola University, Pan and Atlantic University, NAL University of Nigeria, Babcock University, and the topmost one, the one that sits at number 1, is Harvard Wike. Is this now the new flex? Harvard Wike University is the final one. So that's that. So that's that. What else do we have? Like I said, we don't have an abundance. So that's that. Let me play you a couple of clips. I'll send the link again. Anybody else to come in. Still no one in the studio. So if you want the conversation, like I often say, do people actually even share the links? We're not seeing sufficient enough in terms of the concurrent traffic. Maybe it's to do with the timing. I'm not sure. But let me play you this clip. I've been carrying this clip now for about 2-3 days, but I should have played it to you. So if you are living in diaspora, see if you can relate to the conversation taking place in this clip. If you're living in diaspora, you've perfected that American, German accent, whichever country you're in, you've perfected it. Maybe you were even born in there. Maybe you're even a 3rd generation. Maybe you are 4 generations into being an American or whatever. So from that prism, relate to this conversation.
I'm really speaking from an Indian person, British Indian. I'm proudly British, fiercely British, love it. I can't stand it when Indians say they are English. It really, really, really frustrates me. I'll tell you why. I will say to them, look at yourself in the mirror, get a picture of your parents and look at them. Are your parents Indian or not? Yes, they are. my friend, you are Indian. Just because you're born in a country doesn't mean you are that.
They're born in Britain. That
Yes.
means they are British, no?
Yes, British, yes, I agree with that. But you
If they were
are
born in
look at your
England,
DNA.
they were English.
Go get a DNA test, and what would that come back and say? You're coming from that part of the world. You're
Okay,
Indian.
so fine. So how many generations back do we have to go before we say, yeah, okay, you are pure English enough? You know, you got my granddad was Scottish. Do I? You know, what am I? I'm an quarter Scottish.
I would personally identify, if I was you, there's a quarter Scottish. That would be part of you, who you are. Now, if you then choose to say you're English, that's your choice. But you're not.
But I am.
Look at your DNA line and stuff. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Well, I'm a sort of. If we look at my DNA line, Jazz, I'm a sort of emerged out of the swampy bog of the River Ribble.
So that's that. This is something that this is an undercurrent prejudice that we are seeing a lot of within the westernized space. So forget that and people overcompensate as well, by the way. So you are American born, you've never been to Nigeria before, your parents are Nigerian, you are 20-something thereabout. So you over Americanize your Americanness. But the actual white Americans, who are not even the indigenous Americans, they don't see you as American. That's just the thing. There's a hierarchy of being, even within that strata of indigenous shape. Do you know what I mean? So you speak faultless accentuation. You are culturally enmeshed, but the tone of your skin just prevents you. So that guy is arguing then that you can be as British as you like, but you can never be English. You can be born in England, play for England in football, cricket, etc. But as long as you are black, Indian, whatever it is, if your history does, and the other guy was asking him, how far do you have to be removed in your DNA? It's just it's a weird one. So where's Prince Daddy? Yeah, who's calling out Prince Daddy right there? Who's that even? Is that you, Niger man? So there's that. So there's that. That one just if you know, you know. There's just that's just something going on in the undercurrents of society. Oh, there was one other clip that I wanted to show you. This goes back to the narrative of that newly commissioned 30 kilometers road by Tinubu. There's a lot of contention there, and there's a fight that has broken out on social media between two disparate elements. So on the one hand, you have Segun Olo. I actually know this guy personally. I have his number. On the one side, you have Segun Olo. On the other side, you have Reno Mokri. So let's pick it up from here. So Tinubu commissions the road, as you know, a lot of fanfare. Wole Soyinka turned up and everything. The great and not so good, they were all there. So they then told you then that 30 kilometers of that road has been completed. But this guy now, Segun Olo of Objective Media, is a well-known personality, a good friend of mine as well. So he then went to investigate, and this was what he found. Because, of course, Reno Omakri, during the commissioning of that road, he claimed that he drove alongside Wole Soyinka up to kilometer 30. And this guy then went to interrogate that narrative, and this is what he found.
Back to the coastal road today, 6th June 20, is a Friday, public holiday. I'm supposed to be at home enjoying the holiday like every other person. But because Reno, I hope he doesn't make a mockery of his family name, lied that he stood alongside Professor Wole Soyinka to take picture at 30th kilometer and that they drove up to this point. That's exactly why I'm back. This is 30th kilometer. And you can see it, prove it. Not be me, Makam. Not be me, Makam. This is the project marking by the contractor. The construction engineer marked this by themselves. I only have two questions for Egbon, Reno, Wendell Simley. You know what I mean. Number one question. Do you know better than the contractor, the construction engineer, who said all they have done so far and they summed up to 30 was nearly 20 kilometers coming from VI to Lekki corridor, and another nearly 10 kilometers. I'm sure that if we go to calculate the nearly 20 kilometers, if you don't even reach 15, the one that I've calculated so far that I went and drove and I saw the change marking was even the nearly 10. So that's number one question for you. Do you know better than the engineer who by himself confessed? I understand that the minister, out of sheer overzealousness, trying to impress everybody and the president, claimed that they had done 30. But even on the day of that, your ceremony, the engineer said, yes, even though they advertised that they are commissioning 30 kilometers, all they had done was nearly 20 in one part, another nearly 10 in another part.
If you follow through this guy, by the way, this narrative especially, he actually caught Reno Omokri out in an outright lie. So Reno Omokri told an outright lie that this guy has factually debunked.
But you, Reno, you want to claim that you know better than that engineer. Prove it. That's number one. Number two question is, this corridor is along coastal villages. In which village is kilometer 30? Me, I know it because I've come here now, and I came in through Ikwakete. Prove it to me that you and Professor Wole Soyinka drove to this point. Where did you pass to drive to this point from VI to come and show? You sat in a cozy car inside convoy, and you are claiming that you came to this place to come and snap. How? How did you get here? Look at the road now. Look at the. This is kilometer 30. They have not even sandfilled up to the required height.
Pay attention to the fact that this guy keeps that Segun Law, his name is, his platform is called Objective Media. Pay attention to the fact that he keeps on saying kilometer 30, kilometer 30. And there's a good reason why he keeps re-emphasizing kilometer 30, because Reno Omokri, in the images that he put out, said the photographs that he took with Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka, was at kilometer 30.
Alone of compacting it, and let alone of concrete pavements. In fact, there are some places, if you go further, I will show you. By the time you get to Iwerikun now, you will see behind the palace, they have not even cleared it, let alone of sand field, let alone of connecting it. So when I say it's disjointed here and there, they skip some places, they sand fill it, they impress themselves. They skip another kilometers, they sand fill it, they impress themselves. From VI to Okwaja, Musiri Kogo, Mopo 1, Mopo 2, Ikwakete, Iwerikun, Awofin, Odushina, Jegi, Solo Rumija, Solo Alade, Igodo, Debojo, to Eleko. I know this corridor to an extent. Reno, tell me in which village is that kilometer 30? And by the way, to those APC online urchins, those data boys, I pity you. It is ignorance that is making you to be collecting 10,000 data allowance to come and be attacking us. You think it's about me? You can lie on paper, you can lie in documents, you can lie in whatever appropriation you are doing, because citizens have no access.
All right. So that's the point he's making. So Reno Omokri now picks it up and he tries to wiggle his way out of it. But I think this guy actually caught Reno in a lie. Do I have the Reno clip? No, I don't seem to. Yes, I have the Reno clip.
All right, so yesterday a gentleman did a video and he called me a liar about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, and he said he'd gone to kilometer 30 and there was nothing there, just, you know, like a flagpole. But here's the thing, you know, neither the government nor I as a private citizen said that if you drive from Ahmadu Bello Way up to kilometer 30, you're going to see something. That's not how it works. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Section 1, which begins on Ahmadu Bello Way, is actually 30 kilometers completed. But the 30 kilometers starts from Ahmadu Bello Way, 20 kilometers all the way to Okunwaja, and then it stops there. And from the other end, from Eleko, it goes backwards 10 kilometers. So it is the Eleko backward 10 kilometers and the 20 kilometers from Ahmadu Bello Way up to Okunwaja that is 30 kilometers. Now, we've said this before, but probably the young man who did the video missed that information. Watch this video.
Is that by May 25th, 2025, there will be 30 kilometers that is ready for the president to commission in the section 1. And what is the 30 kilometer? 20 kilometer continuously from Ahmad Bello Way would be, so, and then 10 kilometer at the end of section 1, which is Leke Junction. And why are we leaving about 17 kilometers? It's because of settlement, because the settlement of the sand by the reason of our instrument is going to take about 6 months or thereabout to properly settle because of.
All right, so yesterday a gentleman did a video and he called me a liar about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, and he said he'd gone to kilometer 30 and there was nothing there, just like a flagpole. But here's the thing, neither the government nor I as a private citizen said that if you drive from Ahmadu Bello Way up to kilometer 30 you're going to see something. That's not how it works. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway section 1, which begins on Ahmadu Bello Way, is actually 30 kilometers completed, but the 30 kilometers starts from Ahmadu Bello Way, 20 kilometers all the way to Okunwaja, and then it stops there, and from the other end, from Eleko, it goes backwards 10 kilometers. So it is the Eleko backward 10 kilometers and the 20 kilometers from Ahmadu Bello Way up to Okunwaja that is 30 kilometers. Now, we've said this before, but probably the young man who did the video missed that information. Watch this video.
Is that by May 25th, 2025, there will be 30 kilometers that is ready for the president to commission in the section 1. And what is the 30 kilometer? 20 kilometers continuously from Ahmad Bello Way would be, so, and then 10 kilometers at the end of section 1, which is Leke Junction. And why are we leaving about 17 kilometers? It's because of settlement, because the settlement of the sand by the reason of our instrument is going to take about 6 months or thereabout to properly settle because of the filling of up to 10 meters height within that section.
Now, before I agreed to come to Lagos for the flag off of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, I didn't just rely on the government. I did some research on my own. I saw a video by a guy called Bolahon Aziz. Now, this guy had actually gone from the Ahmadu Bello Way beginning of the road up until kilometer 19, and this was 2 weeks before the commissioning, so it had only gone from Ahmadu Bello Way to kilometer 19, and then from the Eloko end he had gone with a drone and captured the 10 kilometers, and you can actually see it on his YouTube channel and also on his X profile. I'm going to put the link in this video.
About 30 kilometers have been completed in 2 stretches. 20 kilometers from Victoria Island to Okunwaja and another 10 kilometers from Eleko heading back towards Okunwaja. In this video, I will take you along the entire route of section 1, showing what has been completed, what's still under construction, which route you will be able to drive on when it's open on the 25th, and how this road now looks like by the day and at night.
I also phoned this young man and I asked him to verify, and this was verified. So I went to Lagos. Now, when I got to Lagos, the photo that we took, myself and Professor Lere Olayinka, it was not at kilometer 30 all the way from Ahmadu Bello Way. No, it was from kilometer 30, you see, from Ahmadu Bello Way up onto Okunwaja axis, that is 20 kilometers, and then from Eleko back, that's 10 kilometers. So the point where those two roads converged, that is where we took that photo. Now, the whole road itself is actually 47.4 kilometers. Why are you having 20 kilometers from Ahmadu Bello Way and then 10 kilometers from Eleko? It's just because they're going to have a bridge, railway and a tunnel in the 17.4 kilometers between, and that part has to be stabilized. It takes 6 months for that road to be stabilized. Now, this is standard practice all over the world. When you're building a bridge, a road, a railway or a tunnel, you don't just go from point A to point B. No, you start at either end of what you're building. So you start at point A and point B and you meet in the middle. If you recall, when I was presidential spokesman under former President Jonathan, we had the Lagos-Ibadan Way, High Expressway, and President Jonathan went there. You had Julius Berger beginning from one end and you had RCC beginning from another end. Now, I'm going to say this also for those supporters of the president and those supporters of the APC who are attacking this young man. Don't attack him. Yes, he insulted me, but don't worry, I've got a thick skin. I don't think he's a hater. I think he's a patriot who probably did not understand the whole picture. So it's our job to explain rather than to insult back. This is Renan Mokri. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you.
All right. Sorry about that. So that was Renan Mokri's right to reply. But as I said, this guy did catch him out in an outright lie. Segun Law is not disputing that So Segun Law is not disputing that 30 kilometers of road was built. I don't think that's I don't think that's the contestation. What Segun Law is disputing is that Renan put out something in the media space to tell us that he took a photograph at kilometer 30, and Segun Law was at kilometer 30 just as early as yesterday, and there was nothing like anything that Renan was describing. So if you look at the tweet that Renan put out here, it says this photo. So is put the response of Renan to him on top of the video. It says this photo. It was a photograph taken with himself and Professor Wole Soyinka. It says this photo was taken at the exact point of kilometer 30 on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. So that's an outright lie. There is no dancing around it to equivocate that Renan did not lie. That's just an outright lie right there by Renan Mokri. So that's Segun Law then catching him out, and this cuts into the credibility of Renan Mokri, by the way, because Renan Mokri, he tries to present himself as a facts and figures man, somebody that walks the details, but this time it was caught in an outright lie. It's just as simple as that. You know, that photograph could not and was not taken. It could not have been and was not taken at kilometer 30. That's just a lie. It's just as simple as that. There's no dancing around it to call it anything other than what it is, which is a lie. So that's Renan then caught out in a lie. So that's Renan caught out in a lie. Let's go on from that to another one. Let me play you. You know, I wonder about Wike's capacity for a fight sometimes. He seems to be fighting so many people on so many quarters. It's in a till death do us part fight with Atiku Abubakar. Is in a till death do us fight with Fubara, and it now seems to be taking on Wike as well. Watch this.
That he told the president, I won't support you. You have no capacity. A president who identified me, he said he had no capacity. Something must be wrong with you. It is you who have no capacity to know that this one has a capacity. 17 days of commissioning of projects under the Commission. 17 days. It has never happened. For 17 what day? Every day, every day, every day. We have to plead with the president, share it. Give some to the vice president. Give some to the senate president. Give some to the speaker. Let everybody see what he has done in Abuja.
The governor of Osun State.
So that's Wike right there, holding the knife to, or putting his jackboot rather on Rotimi Amechi's neck. So have you ever wondered who the richest man in the world is? Have you ever speculated to that? The richest man in the world is a Nigerian, of course not Dangote, it's not Elon Musk, it's a Nigerian. But which Nigerian is it? It may surprise you. The richest man in the world, by my reckoning, is the CEO of Redeemed Church, the general overseer of Redeemed Church. Watch this. When I did the rough calculations, when I saw this video, when I saw this clip I'm about to play you now, when I did this rough calculation, beyond equivocation, it cannot be any other than the richest man in the world has to be the general overseer of Redeemed Church. Watch this. Do the calculations once you hear what this guy has to say.
Different redeemed, but this I'm talking about the Redeemed Christian Church of God. That the GO and Pastor Adeboye is the general overseer. We do monthly remittance. Quote me anywhere you go. We do monthly remittance, and in that monthly remittance, weekly activities, attendance, income, Sunday services, attendance, income, all go to Lagos.
So there it is right there. They do monthly remittances all the Redeemed churches. So now, don't think Redeemed Church in Nigeria, Redeemed Church think globally. Where I live, within a 5-minute drive, there are about 3 Redeemed churches. So if 10% and the one that I go to is a very middle class church, it's a very middle class Redeemed church. If you think of if that church alone was remitting 10% and they were all remitting their 10%, then just have the imagination to imagine the level of money that will be being remitted to that space. That guy, richer than Mansa Musa, without equivocation. So there's that. So let me go on from that to another one. Peter Obi, of course, continues his campaign, and here he is campaigning heavily still. So that's Peter Obi right there, relentlessly at it. Still, what is that? 2 years now, over 2 years now since the last election. Still relentless. It will need 4 years to recover from this campaign that is embarked upon. So we go back to that Pastor Paul Adefarasin narrative, brandishing a gun to a random guy on the street.
All right. So someone tagged me to this video on Tunde North's page and said the founder of House on the Rock, Paul Adefarasin, pulled out a gun on a content creator. So the first thing I did, I said, are you sure? I watched the video, and to be very honest, I had to check, is it true that it is Paul Adefarasin? And if you look at it, you see that there's a close resemblance. So it looked like it's Paul Adefarasin. That's number one. Number two, is that actually a gun? I had to zoom in to be sure. And honestly, this looks like a pistol, which is very, very disturbing if it is a pistol. And this is where the police need to do an investigation, I beg. But that pistol, because I know for the fact that pistol is not legal in Nigeria. They don't give you license for pistol. They only give license for revolver. Now, this video is disturbing. If that's actually a gun, it is a very disturbing video. And why? If you go back to the video, you will notice that the car does not have a plate number. So imagine if something had gone wrong. How would they know the person that shot the boy? I don't know if you understand. Because if somebody is videoing your car and the person did not attack you, attempt to attack you, the person is even calling you boss. You can't come more peaceful. That means you say if you go through something, maybe stress. Because I don't understand why he actually had to pull out a pistol. Maybe he's going through something or he's stressed. And maybe that stress, just imagine say the stress, come make and carry that gun, shoot that boy. How they won't take no? How would they get justice for the boy? How they come? How would they get justice for that boy? Think about it now. They can't get plate number. So if they don't shoot the boy and they get police convoy, there's a police convoy or like a security close to his car. I am assuming that he's the one that is they are protecting him. So if they had maybe he had shot the boy, one of them can come down, can carry the evidence. Or carry the boy's phone. That's all. there's no plate number, and you are holding a pistol that is not legal in Nigeria. This is scary. This is very disturbing. So I want to really know, Nigerian police, when did you start giving a license for pistol in the country? And again, Dr. Paul Adefarasin, if that's truly you, you know what you did in this video is assault. Well, I will not be surprised, because in 2023, you were alleged to do something like this to a bus driver, where the driver hits your car, then you came down, and then you threatened the driver, you break the glass, it even injure him. I remember that news vividly. Even Instablog and some blogs in Nigeria, they carried it to that period. For some reason, I don't know how that video was able to be cleared all over social media. So, oh guys, this is not the first time. As a pastor, it's not the first time that your name is coming up in a very weird news like this. That's number one. Number two, as a pastor, are you supposed to be carrying gun, considering what you people preach? People preach that God will protect all of us. Now don't they go carry gun? Pray for protection. God is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the omnipresence. He will be always there. Now don't they go back here and go the whole gun to protect on yourself, even though it looked like you still had like a protection, like a security, a convoy. You still palm tools. This is very, very disturbing. Me, I'm just scared that people are now allowed to carry pistol in Nigeria. It is disturbing. It is really disturbing. Please, if you don't be allowed, I beg, Inspector General of Police, if it is not legal, I need one. I need one, to be honest. Because I know they thought that they attack me, they attack me. Now God, now they protect me. And not just that, it's not even about myself. If it is legal, let us know. Make I carry all the money ready for NGO. Yes, I will beg everybody who contribute. Say we are not going to do the school project again. The borehole project is being cancelled. We'll go buy tools, carry and go Benue. Go give all those people where they buy for Benue. We'll carry and go different states. Benue, Edo, Jos especially. Benue and Jos especially. We'll go Ondo, we'll go Taraba, we'll go Bayelsa, we'll go. All right, so the way Nigerians say they defend pastors, to be very honest, this country, it go hard. Nigeria go hard. So Dr. Paul Adefarasin have come out to say that wasn't a firearm. But before Dr. Paul Adefarasin can talk, I did see a lot of Nigerians say, to be very honest, that's not a gun, it's a taser. If to say na Akpabi will hold that thing, you go talk say na taser. If na Sheyi Tinubu, you go talk say na taser. If na Tinubu or one of APC people, you go talk say na taser. How would you know it's a taser? Men looking at it, that thing, from distance, na gun it look like. Do you understand? The general, anybody will see if you wake person from sleep, na gone. But because say na pastor, una say, na elect, una the defender, wetin una no see. Wetin una no dey with. Una say na taser. Again, that's number one. Number two.
So there it is right there. Nigeria, we hail thee and we hail thee indeed. Hope you can still hear me. Hope you can still hear me okay, by the way. I switched my system around somewhat, so hopefully you can still hear me okay. So there it is right there. Let me play the Kegite music, and then we'll see if anybody turns up for the conversation. The Kegites first.
Only water, where they see my water. Oh yes, water. Only water, where they see my Hapa oh naido. Hapa oh naido. Hapa you don't come oh. Hapa oh naido. Hapa oh naido. Oro keke elemu ye o. Oro keke. Ide shodi ya keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Bobby master keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Chifu Waila ti keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Eruku lele elemu de. Eruku lele elemu dode. Eruku lele egbe elemu dode o jare o. Eruku Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ. ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
It is right there. Ikoko Neru Agbesheme, death have nothing to do with us. Joining us after a long hiatus, there's Baba. Good to see you, Baba. Ogbeni is in the house. Always a delight when Ogbeni is here. We did have a third person, and he was here all the way through. He just dropped the last minute. It was even here before I came in. But that's the assemble so far. So plenty of room still. Anybody that wants to hop on, hop on. We kick it off. We start it off with Baba. Baba, good to see you back.
Well, I'm not back actually. I think you just riled me up with your Lagos postulation. Can you hear me, woman? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello? Yeah, you.
I can. Yes, I can.
You can now. Okay. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni, báwo ni o?
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run sà.
Adúpẹ́. Ṣàlàáfíà ni Adúpẹ́. I just came in because I couldn't stomach your postulation concerning the Lagos political mathematics, actually. Firstly, anyway, let me salute you. I hope your weekend is going well. And also,
all the better for having you here, Baba.
Ogbeni, I hope everyone is doing okay on all fronts back home. And the commentariat people, you are my people, and we're still expecting the favorites today. Please come on board. And for our esteemed and able listeners and watchers, viewers, I formally welcome you, and I hope you've clicked the like button, most essentially, and share subsequently, and do subscribe if you haven't done so. The Lagos thing actually is the one that I came to talk about. It's a very dicey thing at the moment. We've not recovered from the Obasa Miranda political activities, and it's getting worse actually with the local government elections coming on, and it's creeping towards a dangerous ground. But I just hope common sense will prevail, because we have a common reason to be one, stand as one at this very moment. And Togiri Obalanu, Alangba Olirai Wobe, and people are already on their mark to actually infiltrate and escalate the whole thing, to the extent that as we speak, the president is being pushed, convinced, and being pushed by some elements I will not mention. You see, we have all these mushroom groupings in Lagos, things like that. They want the president to impeach Sanwo-Olu. And I don't think the president is going to do it. I wouldn't say he's capable, but then the first class obas in Lagos and those other ones that are not first class, let me put it that way, I think they shouldn't mind that at this moment the president is isolating them. I think they just have to gather with the Eleko and prevail on the president to leave Sanwo-Olu alone. To leave Sanwo-Olu alone. Yes, of late is acting as if he's bigger than his breeches, which is wrong. I can't blame him. When you are in that kind of situation and your state is awash with money, it takes a special person, not to falter or misbehave once in a while. But the sins of Sanwo-Olu actually is not something very grave, but it's something any man can commit, because the money is coming from Lagos, right, left, center, back, front. At this moment is just humongous. And it's not using it well. And a lot of influential group, if you listen to the president talking about reclaimed land, as on 2 patches of the Lagos Lagoon towards the Ekpe Peninsula, they filled them. And that's not good for environmental protection of Lagos. Very, very dangerous. They were advised not to do it. The same thing happened during the Banana Island project. They did not allow the sand filling to settle against the advice of Westminster Dredging Company that did the sand filling, to wait at least for 3 years for the banana reclamation to settle. They did not even wait 9 months. They start developing. And today, most of the houses on Banana Island, the foundations are becoming very shaky. What is saving Banana Island so far is what the work high tech has done to stem the overflow of the ocean into the lagoon like it used to be before. And Sanwo-Olu has gone ahead. People have pressured him. Those 2 places, they want to make some development and create a special area again, like Banana Republic. And the president is angry, rightfully so. I agree. But does that interpret into an impeachment? No, for God's sake. No. I hope it won't get to that stage anyway. I'm very, very sure. Good reason will prevail, because the idea is Amzat to take over. And of course, like I've always insisted and told you, one man, that Amzat is the next governor of Lagos State. The president's son, she is never in the equation. No, never. Perish that thought.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right, brilliant. Because I switched systems, and I'm
okay.
hopeful that this one is.
Have you been
okay
listening
now.
too?
Yeah. No,
so,
I've been listening. Yes. This idea of floating Ambode, where do you think it's coming from?
Like I told you about this mushroom grouping. We have the Renaissance group. This Renaissance one is even new. We have the renewed Renaissance or something that is for islanders. We have the something front. Those ones that are in a lot of groups like that. So they are the one pushing Ambode this thing. Ambode, as far as I'm concerned, is not coming back. The best they can do for him.
Do you think Amzat will be strong enough to handle Rhodes Vivo?
Amzat is the brain behind what is happening in Lagos State today. People just call Sanwo-Olu. Amzat is the man, because he has been there all along. He served under Fashola, he served Ambode, is now serving Sanwo-Olu. He is going to take over from Sanwo-Olu, and they want to hasten that for about another 2 years so that he can smoothly win the election. But I think we should not act in haste. They should let Sanwo-Olu be. They are prevailing upon him to slow down seriously, and of course, follow whatever is being put down for him. He should not just go solo or go rogue. Because many people have the ears of the president today. So just let me leave it at that. They should not impeach him. Let Sanwo-Olu be. Then the other issue, actually, is the 2027. Why the North, they are vehemently and almost like, let me say, violently opposed to Tinubu winning 27. This is the truth. The North, their immortal fear of Tinubu restructuring the country if he wins the second term. They know he will do it, and they don't want it. That is at the heart of their violent opposition to 2027. But they are just playing. He will win. He will restructure the country. Because the resources of that country has to be controlled by the owners. By the owners. Because realistically, we are not one people. If you travel and you go past, by the time you go past Ore, leaving west, southwest, you enter into Edo, you hear another language. You go into Delta from Edo, it's another language entirely. You cross the River Niger Bridge, it's another language entirely. We are ethnic nationalities. We have to develop at our own paces. Nobody should hurry anybody. Everybody should be a form of confederacy. Should be a form of confederacy. What you have in your land, you own it 101% and pay tax to the center. That center is too attractive. That's along the line. This restructuring have to take place. Even dangerously, even Shetima as a VP is opposed to restructuring. And you ask yourself, why? The answer is in that interview, granted or panel sitting, the Bauchi governor was involved a couple of days back. You saw him sitting down. He was denying that he's receiving 3 times what he used to receive 2.5 years ago, just of recent.
You know what stunned me in that interview, Baba? He claimed he's still paying the old minimum wage.
Of course, all of them in the North. When people are even paying
so all
80,
this extra
85.
money, they are just pocketing it again. Yes.
That's what they do. That's what they do. And there are people, that's why I was mad when Azan was here about 4 days ago. I was really mad when he was talking about...
ethnic jingoist anyway. It's an ethnic jingoist, isn't it, Azan?
You see, there are a lot of insincerity from the North. From the North, and let me shock you, they want to use Obi. And I think the Obi followers, the inner caucus, they are cleverer and sharper. Because let Azam come out here and swear that they are not opposed to an Easterner ruling Nigeria up till today. Let him come out and swear. These are the kind of
they have a visceral distrust of
You see, this is the look. I spent 3 days in Abuja. I spent the 8 hours only in Lagos before I came back. I had a lot of things. You understand? The country has to be restructured, whether they like it or not. Because all they do is just pocket the money. Against what Ahmadu Bello had tried, the foundation he laid down so that they can catch up. If that man were to have lived up to the 80s and rule that part of the country, it will have been a very different thing entirely. They will be like Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. That's what the northern part of Nigeria would have looked like. But unfortunately, his agenda was cut short in that 1966 coup until these rascals who went to school on scholarship, none of them in the north today, the political leaders, pay one dime for their education, even up to Atiku, who is far older than most of them. That's the agenda of Ahmadu Bello, and took care of what we call and refer to as Margiris today. But these rascals came, they pocketed the whole thing, diminished the humanity of their people proudly, and they will blame the South for everything. Because when I saw Bala Muhammad was saying we form a committee to look into the wage structure, after over a year, after over 9 months, a lot of states have been paying even as high as 85 in some states, 85,000 in some states. And you are not even afraid. Open your mouth and say you are paying the old wage. How much is the old wage? 30,000. You're paying in this inflation high Nigeria today. In a part of the country where all the bad statistics mitigating against the country's progress today are from that place, that space. And they talk about security, 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 security. Why are they not secured? Why are they not secured? Why are they slowing us down? Because they consider Niger their people, they consider the Chadians their people, they consider the Malians their people. They operate a seamless border there. There is nothing a southern president can do. We cannot move against any of these countries. Cannot move against any of these countries. The security, Jonathan hired mercenaries. Oh, Jonathan is killing our people. Why are they killing? They invited Americans. They came just as supervisors or as technical advisors. Oh, they kicked against it. Why are they kicking? Why did they kick against it? So I'm not bothered about it. It remains there. If they want it, well, they destroy their space. They are not destroying my space. They are not destroying my space. Because these people are not serious. They are not serious. All the things bedeviling their places, they are involved up to their neck. And they've made Nigeria so unattractive because of the bad statistics. Whether they like it or not, that country has to be restructured. And resource control will be at the heart of it. Because why are they afraid? When they had the power structure, more so during the military times, for which they have ruled the country for about 48 years, and having resources from the south as oil magnates. But today they have the lithium. It's a problem for the south to access their lithium. It's a problem for the south to access their gold. And from 1985 to this moment, every subsequent board of NNPC, they're investing millions of dollars, if not up to billions. Since 1985, I've been aware about this, looking for oil in the north. What oil? What do they do with
Is
all
that
that
not just
money?
a conduit for fun? Sorry, Baba. Is that not just a conduit for funneling? There is absolutely no chance of if there was any oil in the north, they would have found it already. And billions and billions and billions and billions. During Buhari era, they did about 2-3 billion. They are looking for oil in Bauchi.
I say it's
You know,
every year
where
in
is it?
NMPC's budget. Even they force the hands of Ojulari now, the new group MD, to also buy into that, to say we will continue, because they will never let you rest. That thing with which they have put their teeth onto, they will not leave it. They are like crocodile. You have to kill them first.
Isn't it time we just had it out with these people? We can't
They
continue to
know
live
it's
in
only
perpetual
Tinubu that
fear.
can do it, one man. They know. And they know 2027, if you won that election, that's exactly what's going to happen. And they are hell-bent on making sure he will not win that election. But then they are treading very, very dangerous ground. But I know them as cowards. Because when they get to that edge, they will not jump. Because comparing their lives, their living standards, even as worse as we calculated, is better than that of the Niger, Chad, or Mali, or so-called Burkina Faso. They know. They know. They have to wake up, because their land also is not barren. It's rich in resources, but not like the easy one, like the flow of oil and other things. Let them till their floor, their earth, and make money out of it. I yield, one man. Ogbeni is waiting. Yeah, Ogbeni, please carry on.
Okay, one man is no longer there.
I think it's system. So just
I
carry
am
on.
here. So, yes, I'm here. You know, as ever, battling with my. Thank you, Baba. You spotted it. Carry on, Ogbeni. The floor is yours.
Well, anyway, let me greet everybody, all our panelists, and those ones that are still coming. You're invited. Please run quickly, enter the room, and let's discuss. It's about our country. We need to keep engaging on our country. Let me start from where Baba is taking a pause. As a Southerner, I don't really complain much about Northerner. Beside the fact that I have one in my house, in my home, but I don't really complain. Why? From 1999 to date, or okay, let's extend it a bit and say from 1999 till 2031, which we're all looking up to. And for me personally, I want Tinubu to continue to then. Put them together, there'll be 32 years of democracy in Nigeria. Southerner is going to be there, or will be there, for 22 years. 8 years, a Southerner who took over from the military and happened to be someone from the Southwest. Obasanjo 99 to 2007, he left there shortly after. Another Southerner from South got to power, spent 6 years. Now we have another man, 2023, and we're expectedly to 2031, taking a shot for another 8 years. Put together, by my own calculation, that's about 22 years. So the Northerner is not going, they put them together, it means as at 2031, they've not even have probably close to half of what a Southerner has. So why would I complain as a Southerner if we have someone from the South there who couldn't do anything to allay this fear or to address this kind of fear? And as a Southerner, I will come out to still be complaining that, oh, the North is Nigerian problem. So why do I have my people there? Why do they contest? Then they should leave the Londoners to be running the things. Then don't contest. What am I saying? What I'm saying is this. If there's a problem with the Northerner, then do something about it. You are in power. Tinubu is in power. Jonathan was in power. Obasanjo was in power. Most time they say, okay, remove Jonathan because you are Lily Liver. But you can't tell me that Obasanjo too was Lily Liver. You can't tell me that Tinubu is Lily Liver. These are guys that are tough guys. Remove Jonathan from that equation anyway. But these are tough guys of a constant K in an equation when it comes to Nigerian politics. So they understand why they are there. So why wouldn't they do it? Who is? So to me, I call it what they call in fallacy argumentum ad baculum. That's you make misericordia. That's appeal to pity. So we pity ourselves, try to comfort ourselves and say, not is the problem. Oh, what do they really need? They do this against us. But you have a southerner there who is in control of things. They've accused Tinubu most time of nepotism, favoritism, and okay, fine. Let's even agree that is true. Then that means he has put people there to do their work who are southerners who understand all these things. Somebody recently was talking about the IOC. I went for a symposium and the issue came up. It was a symposium on ECOWAS and the West African sub-region. And so we're talking and they were complaining about Babangida's OIC. And I laughed. Oh, you have Babangida OIC, but since then you've been having president who would, when they leave office, they'll be complaining about the OIC. But when they were there, what did they do? You had National Assembly. Did they even make any move to remove Nigeria from this OIC? And even if it's going to be difficult, but make a move first. Let somebody raise it in the House and said, in the National Assembly, and said, look, they drag us into a particular association when we were running military government, but we don't think it's in line with our secular status that we champion as a country. Then is it not the time for us to remove ourselves from this useless organization we find ourselves? Why are we there? But nobody would do it, but we still come out and complain. So for me, I respect Baba's opinion, and I think both Northerners and Southerners are our problem. Our leaders are our problem. It's not about the tribe someone come from. I think when it comes to them steering the affairs of Nigeria, looting things together and make all this policy, they don't even care about religion and tribe. They do it together. About Bala, I've said it before. I was in Abuja throughout Bala time. That guy was a colossal failure in Abuja and a corrupt man. If not for somebody like Jonathan, he could only work under people like Jonathan. People like that Bala cannot work on that Tinubu or even Obasanjo. Well, it was FCC minister throughout Jonathan's time with this my client, his late night. I think he died 3 weeks ago. The man from Ekiti. They were both minister. The late one was Caleb Olubola, the Navy captain. That one was Minister of State. And then Bala was substantive minister, and we knew what they did in Abuja, how they pack the money from FCT to go and contest in Boshi, and now he's safe-faced. You can remember this Bala was picked up with Fem Fanika, the Abati, and all of them. They were all in EFCC detention.
And Nadi Usman.
Yes, but today you see all of them coming out and talking. So how have I defined Nigeria? So far now, I'm working on a book now called Problem Complaining Against Problem. That's the way I see Nigeria. Amechi is now complaining. Having spent time from 1999 to 2015, 23 in Nigeria, within the political space, without any break.
Never wrote an application for a job in his life.
Nothing in his entire life has never. He has never. He studied law while he was in a public office. While you're in a public office, you study law, it means you were practically absent from public office. Your law is not just any course you just study anyhow. You need a hard work to go and study. So, but you were collecting salary, you were doing everything, you were getting money. So now you're out and you're the one complaining. There's another one, that is now showing out statistics every day on the channels on Arise TV. The Madoka, what do you call that man? That guy like that. He has an NGO. He's also doing statistics on, this is why election is not this. This is why a politician who was part of those rigging up and down during Obasanjo time. And Jonathan, now he has become a saint. And a lot of them like that. So it is the kind of society we find ourselves. We'll sort it out. We'll sort ourselves out. Something will happen one day. That's on that. Let me go to this Adefarasi. I think it's even what actually first prompted me to come over here, apart from other issues that. So one man, I don't know why you very dark man. I know that one shares traffic to his channel. I'm not one of those who patronize his channel, because I think I've gotten to a stage now where I will only listen to the people who are either at par or they are higher than me in terms of reasoning. Not to go to some channels where what you just get there is gossip, that are not born out of probably exposure or informed opinion. That's the way I see those people in those spaces. But they are making money; it's good for them. So it's
Is
part
that
of.
not a bit elitist?
No, I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is this: if you are arguing,
well, it is because if you are not able to take your conversation to a mass understanding, then you are it's just ivory tower thinking, isn't it? It's elitism. It's a smoked room with a. If you are not able to engage to a level that can be understood by an average person, then you are not really. You are just showing off amongst your peers. That's just
no.
What it
So
is.
one man, this is the way it works. So for me, I spend money to gain education. Let's start with that. I spend money to gain education, and I don't have too much time. Okay, to educate people are not ready to educate. You see, in those days,
people are pretending to sleep.
Yes, in those days, people are ready to be educated. One man, people are till the 90s. If you find yourself in the midst of some people and they say, "Oh, this is a lawyer," or they say this is a professor, or they say this is a medical doctor, they wanted to listen to you. It's no longer like that, one man. So this elitism thing, forget it. It's no longer like that. You go to the midst of people that don't know jack about the subject matter. They don't just want to listen to you, no matter what you say. No matter, by the time you now finish, they realize that this guy is making sense. So last like they will tell you, you go shalaye tire. That's the claim. So why do you want to waste your time with that? That's the point I'm making here. So I can go there to go and do chit chat. That is if I have time and I'm prepared for one. Yes, do chit chat, do banters, and then leave. But for
animal husbandry graduate will be questioning your submission as a lawyer.
That's the issue. And you'll be putting it to you in the studio. So imagine me spending 25 years now on practice of law. Spend 25 years, you're doing law every day. You go to court, and then somebody who doesn't even know much, who is just reading his law on Twitter or Google, is coming up and then is asking you a concept that is so fundamental in law. You're trying to explain, but it's bringing something that is so irrelevant into it. You are so frustrated in explaining because the world we live now. Woman, the reason is because of the world we live now. It's not elitism. So don't get me wrong. The world we live now, woman, people are not ready to be educated. I'm telling you, there are few people who are ready to be educated, and they are not the Gen Z, they are the millennial and those ones that come up before. Even some millennials are even being infected by this Gen Z thing too. Their approach to learning is what they know is what they know. You see, man of person is one of the maybe the old school that is being caged in the bracket of the millennial of the Gen Z too. He will tell you and say, "I know what I know." Don't tell me that is American thing. I know what I know. Don't tell me. When you use words like that, you know what you know. You're not ready to learn. That's the issue. So why do I have to be wasting my time?
You see, I detest that comment because it's not that it's even a redundant statement to me that I know what I know. Of course, you know what you know, but do you know what you don't know? Do you remember the deputy governor or the deputy president, the vice president of America, Dick Cheney? Said there are no knowns and there are known unknowns. So it's not so much you know what you know now, it's you don't know what you don't know. You have to leave your mind open to assimilate it. But that's where the frustration comes in.
One man, Ogbeni, you know the funniest one? The Burkina Faso thing they are crazy about now.
Yeah.
That housing estate, for instance. Take it to Algeria, bring it and tell them, this thing that you are saying is in Burkina Faso was copied from Algeria. That's where the project is taking place.
They don't want to hear.
They don't want to hear.
They don't want to hear. They tell you, we know what we know.
We know what we know.
All those things. They are not things. They are not my thing.
And so you just start to look at, is this a human being?
Because they close their mind. And Baba, you see, I can't blame many of them. Because I think it's a societal thing, and I think it's something that.
Sorry, Ogbeni. Sorry, Ogbeni. Can people actually hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay.
You can.
Yeah, yes. Go ahead.
All right, brilliant. I was going to say actually that Burkina Faso narrative. I take a different reflection. By the way, when they're telling us that the guy is speaking in crisp English from a francophone country, barely literate, so it's all contrived, it's all AI generated, and all of the images coming out of there, they're just people either photoshops or people just things just taken off Google images. So it's all nonsense. But it speaks to a wider aspiration from the African space that they are fed up, they want a new type of leadership, is really what they are saying. Not that they really, I think everybody knows that guy is just an opportunist and a fool, but
Okay, one man, look at it from this way. Yes, I think I agree. It's the wider aspiration of Africans and every human being, okay, to be free from whoever is tying them down. But the question you want to ask yourself is, first, are you well informed about what is really tying you down and why you are being tied down? That's the question I ask many of my students in class, particularly if I find myself in the community of Blacks and then we're engaging on matters that affect Africa or the sub-region of West Africa. The question I last asking them is, how much of your history do you know? How much of the ties you have with the West do you really know? Where are you moving towards? Is it the East or the Middle East or the Arabs or the Asia? If you are moving towards, have you read about them? Do you know? So I asked a question in one of these workshops. I said, okay, Burkina Faso is moving away from the West, but it's moving towards Russia. Tell me any country in Africa that Russia has never supported and helped. I've not seen any. Zimbabwe used to be my litmus test. I said, Russia was practically backing Mugabe throughout his lifetime, but they messed up their economy. Why? Because your goal is to hate the West and you're fighting the West. While you're fighting the West, whatever Russia is giving you, you're taking it to Ukraine and sinker. You'll be in trouble one day because Russia is struggling on its own. And they are colonialists. So why were you moving from one slave master to another slave master? Now, if you want to emancipate ourselves, have you read about countries?
Ask them more.
Have you read about a country that were with the West, but at the same time they find a path that helped them still with the West? They got their liberation. I give an example of China. I still keep telling people, they say China closed border for 20 years. I say, where do you get all this fable you always talk about? Won't you just go and read? If you can't read, don't you have people who are educated in your house to just educate you? Or you open YouTube and listen now. Just Google. One Google is okay for you. China rising from developing to develop. Try and read. They closed their economy. Who told you? Who did you bring China into Security Council member in the United Nations, if not the same America? Now, you say, oh, you're fighting America, but you want to build your nuclear. I remember on this program one day, somebody was saying, why would they not allow us to build
I listened with two Ninja.
Yes, I think it was Madam. I don't know who was engaging that person one day and said, or is it Adewale or Enigmatic said, you need a bargaining strength on the table. That is how the world works. They say you need to lobby. You need to put something on the table before they allow you. See, Iran today, they are still dealing with Iran in having that thing. There's a reason.
Even Syria, look at Syria. Russia went into. Look what happened to Syria.
Yes. So my own is, yes, we're ready to emancipate ourselves. Fine. Is the wider narrative fine, but we can't base it on propaganda like they do presently for Traoré. You're doing nothing, but they are promoting you doing something. When you do little, they promote the exaggerator as if you've done. We've had it before in Africa in the 60s. That's what in one of the workshops I took.
Ogbeni, look,
yes,
an educated person, unbelievable. One of the people I respect sent me something about Traoré.
Yes,
I think 3 days ago, that he went to the village and hugged his mother in those touched thing, and this gentleman was so emotional that look at him, look at where the mother lives, and I just replied, say, do you know this is AI? And he did it. Since then, I've not heard from him again. I mean, how can I
Baba, let me tell you, I was one old man, and I respect him. He's somebody I respect. He's my uncle and he's a professor, so I respect him very well. But you know, he's a professor, yeah, a kitty professor now in his own way. Much more good. He's very good though. He's a professor of not history, he's a professor in science, so he doesn't really, he's so good in his field. But he's the kind of person that is so, how do I put it to? He's so narrow on his own feed. You can't say anything outside his feed. But I love talking about this African Taore guy when they praise the guy. So I started rolling because he understood, you know, the political history a bit. I said, sir, tell me, when Joseph Mobutu Seko of Congo in the 60s took over, and were people not happy? Were people not rejoicing? Bokassa, 1966, Central African Republic, were rejoicing, right? Joseph Ankara, Eyadema, all those guys, all those big
the guy in Ethiopia,
the one in Uganda, and all those guys, people were rejoicing. And they were setting up propagandas, and Africans were saying, oh, Kabila, and all those guys, they were praising them. I said, but at the end of the day, what happened? They chased them out from the office. When they took over from them and chased them out, people were still rejoicing, right? I said, such is Africa for you. Because deep thinking, I don't know why it's not too common in our space.
Even Mugabe was a hero once upon a time.
Big hero. But you look at it a bit, I told my uncle, I said, sir, look at all these guys, Burkina Faso, those guys that are taking over, and they are more like umbrella now over Nigeria when you see the way it's moving. I said, don't you see something common among them? First thing I see common among them, first, is they belong to the same religion. I don't even have a problem with that. Another thing I see common among all those guys, they are military guys. And they're coming there to serve their selfish interest. And another thing, they are moving away from the West. They said they are moving towards Russia. So what good do you think that will bring to West Africa at the end of the day?
And using their resources to pay Russia for securing
that space for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, you're moving from one master to another, and at the end of the day, you're going to pause the development in that region for another 10, 20 years before they are tired of you and they could muzzle.
And you know the question I asked them, Ogbeni, I said, look, before I believe they are revolutionary, change your currency. Get away from the France protocol of CFA. Change your currency. If you know you have blockers.
Baba, they won't do it. Do you know Burkina Faso is still getting money from IMF?
Are you telling me?
All the noise.
What about France?
So that's the issue. So all those noise is just for their own citizens, and that's why they want to really educate their citizens. Education standard will always go low, to the extent that standard 6 of them will teach graduates of these days. So they understand what they are doing. So with that, no deep thinking, no analytical analysis of any issue, and then we keep rolling it out like that. That's for that on that EU woman. Let me go to this Adefarasin thing. But when I saw that thing, I just laughed. I don't know why. Woman, let me tell you, that thing that they said is gone. I learned they said the guy has come out with a disclaimer that it's not gone, and we love sensational news a lot in Nigeria. The day I saw that, in the moment I saw that, I said, "Is this really gone?" And I asked myself some questions. I said, if this thing is actually the gun, where is the trigger? Where is the trigger guard? But one of my friends said, there are pieces that are very small like that. So, but I can't see the muzzle, the grip, the armor, those little things in gun and everything. And I remember vividly that thing could be anything, except it comes down to explain anyway. But that kind of, as far as I'm concerned, it could be anything. I have something I put in my car. It's a massage gun. It's a small, they call it massage gun. I don't know what might know it.
Ogbeni, you are making excuses for this guy. Let's look at what we do know. Look at what we do know. We saw the image. So a guy approaches his car. Is one of these car spotters, one of these people that like to. So the guy approaches the car, and then he rolled down his window, and from the disposition of his face, you could see that he wasn't in a good mood. And then he flashed something at the guy and then drove off. So whatever he was flashing at a guy, it was to threaten the guy. So why would he threaten the guy with anything other than a gun? It was a gun.
Let me pause you there now, one man. First, he didn't point that thing to the guy you're talking about. He was holding that thing and holding his steering. You can replay it and look at it. You know, I like analyzing things like this. He rolled down fine. He wasn't looking good in his expression with the guy. Yeah, anything could be going through many things. Then did he point that thing to the guy? No. What do you find online? They said, oh, he pointed a gun to him. I said, where do you see him? He was holding the steering with that thing in his hand. It could be anything. One of the things I know that thing looked like, I don't know if you come up with an excuse tomorrow, is a massage gun. I have one in my car, Bob and Brad Q2 massage gun. I use it to massage because I have
Ogbeni, my own observation actually, guys, there are small guns like that, .22. We call them Saturday night special.
Yeah,
you understand? They are that size, but I've seen also in Walmart pepper spray in form of that .22 caliber.
No, Baba. There is this thing when my mom was alive, we bought for my mom. It's an insulin pump. It's always in her hand for diabetics. So if you meet somebody who has a medical condition, an underlying condition, and is holding things like that, so your first conclusion is he's holding a gun and he's pointing it at you. Yeah, I know it's a public figure. So public figure, you should be expecting news anytime from anywhere. But my own is, as somebody, I try to analyze it and say, okay, first, is he pointing that thing at him? No. He look angry, yes. He has a right to look angry. He's a human being. I can look happy today. I can look unhappy tomorrow. It's not your business. So that should not be a news. But as a public figure, it can be a news. But it's not something I will castigate you on, yes. You don't look friendly, yes. Must I look friendly all the time? The answer is no. So if I'm holding my massage gun or I'm holding my glucose monitoring tool, God forbid, or my insulin pump gun, so somebody should now pick it because I wrote down, I'm looking at you angrily, and you see somebody in my hand, something in my hand that I'm holding my hand, then that's the big news of the day. Come on. Let's get serious on all these things. You see all these pastors, I keep saying it, they are human beings like you and I. Yes, some people
I think you are trying to excuse him because you are one of those touch not my anointed.
No,
but you know, all the indications would indicate that it was a gun. One, it was in a foul mood, like you've just acknowledged. It was angry. You know, the guy approached him, and he has the right to be angry.
Okay, thank you.
He has the right to be angry.
Okay,
so he paused the car. He rolled down the window, and then he flashed something. He flashed it. You know, he didn't point it, but he flashed it, and he flashed it to threaten. Yeah.
To threaten.
Carry on.
Yeah. Wait, is you that always say it's not a monologue? Let's have conversation on this. First, he has a right to roll down his glass, right? Does he have that right? One man engage me now. Does he have that right?
Well, he has the right to do everything that he did. But
does he have the right?
All of the yes.
So what's the issue here?
Go on.
So the
issue is that all of the situation indicates that there is everything indicates he was a gun. He was angry. He was approached in a manner that he did not like. He wanted the situation to end immediately, and then he flashed an object.
Does he have a right to want the situation to end? Does he have that right, sir?
He has that right, but not to enforce it with arms.
Okay, so the only thing wrong here is whether or not that thing is a firearm, right? So if it turns out not to be a firearm, is there anything wrong there, woman?
Well, it's
but even on the other side,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Woman, even the other side is lack of ignorance. Woman, look, there are people, not many, mostly retired generals. They carry licensed pistols signed by the National Security Advisor. So maybe it falls amongst that privileged few that the National Security Advisor gave a signature their paper to carry a pistol. There are people that had that privilege in Nigeria.
Baba, you see when you go to on social media, you see the noise they make most, and I think is what one man is buying into, is that, first, it's a gun. They've concluded it's a gun. And I said, okay, I don't think somebody
He has antecedents as well. There was a time he approached a commercial vehicle and assaulted. I think he smashed the windscreen or something. So he
using
has
gun.
antecedents of.
Using
he has antecedents
it's
of temper
temperamental, right?
flashes.
Maybe it's
Yes, he's a
temperamental.
temperamental guy.
So
Most of us have done that in those
if it's
days now.
temperamental, is that not human? Does it make him extra? Is he extraterrestrial? Does he live outside this world? So why would that make it? Well, he's a public figure, so he should make a news. I don't have problem with that. But my own is that it's just sensationalism, because I've had times like that before when I will be angry. I've come out from my car also before, like Rufai would say.
Slap down food driver, like.
Even in Abuja, that's so quiet. You will come out and just talk to ourselves, burada. Everybody enter your car, you go. In fact, sometimes in my lawyer's way, I'll come out there and say, "Are you not a lawyer?" I say, "Hey, you just remember that I'm a lawyer." And everybody enter and go.
So because of that, I'll be a fool.
Now become I don't have a right again to be angry. I don't. You see, I'm not saying it's a good thing to make news for particular bloggers that have done traffic. Like that guy now, he just to draw traffic to his own channel. He will make money from Google, make money from YouTube and others. And I don't think it's something that should be a serious thing that we should bring to a platform where we should be discussing more serious issues that affect our society. Not Abati, yeah, it's a figure, but there are more.
I've never liked him anyway. I've never liked that Adefarasi.
Speak to the Lagos politics.
Okay, so Lagos politics. I think Tinubu will make a very grave mistake of his life if he continue going after Sanwo-Olu to the extent of impeaching him. I don't see any utility that is going to fetch them at this stage. Somebody who has spent 6 years plus in the office, hedging to the end of his office, and then you guys now want to bring his deputy to come and you want to impeach him and then bring him for what reason? For what reason? I don't know. You know me, I don't know much about Lagos politics, but the way I see it is I don't see any justification for that. No matter what, you offended you for, you need to stabilize, because see, Baba, I said something yesterday, and I think you corroborated it again today. Southwest, Northwest, Northeast is not going to be easy for Tinubu in the next election. And I think he knows too. I think he knows. Northwest, Northeast is not going to be easy. North Central is going to be divided if Obi is coming up. Although I don't see Obi coming to contact. I don't see Obi in the ballot paper. I know he's people will start attacking me now. But I don't see Obi in the ballot paper, seriously. But in case miracle happen, I know one man doesn't believe in miracle. I believe in miracle. But in case miracle happens and Obi find his name on the ballot paper, North Central is going to be divided. Kogi, Kwara maybe not, but you see all those Nasarawa, Plateau, Niger, Benue, those asses, they're going to be divided. Even FCT is going to be divided. No matter what Wike is doing in that FCT, it's still going to be divided, because those ones, they have their own trouble, and there are so many Southeasterners and others in dialysis. So it's going to be a serious issue. I don't know if Tinubu is still going with Shetima, if they're going to neutralize their Muslim ticket and get Libra this time around. Possibly that will help him to have an edge in the North Central. Probably if it's going for somebody from the North Central this time around, where they might be play two or those asses that can help to pull out something. So where is the base? It's going to count on. Southwest is one of the major ones, and Lagos is one of the major ones. And for me, the performance of Sanwo-Olu alone in Lagos should be okay for him to consider that, rather than troubling the politics, because the political atmosphere in Lagos is not something that you trouble in less than 2 years to your next election.
Ogbeni, I don't think he's looking to impeach Tinubu. Sanwo-Olu rather. I don't think he's looking to impeach him. But the contention is who succeeds Sanwo-Olu. I think Sanwo-Olu may well have his own candidate. Tinubu certainly has his own candidate. And then other vested interests have their candidates too. So they are permutating towards that. And Tinubu needs Obasa to still be in play in order to then to determine the succession plan. and Sanwo-Olu tried to move against Obasa, which somewhat triggered Tinubu somewhat. You know, I think that's where the play is. But like you said, he'll be a very stupid man to try and impeach him. Sanwo-Olu is so popular, you know, it's just it would be foolish to do.
But and I see reason now. So if what they are trying to do is not impeachment, I'm fine with whatever politics they're going to play to get somebody to succeed. After all, when you look at the past two governors now, I think Tinubu was the only governor in Lagos State that got his own successor. Fashola couldn't pick his own successor. Fashola wanted somebody else. They picked Ambody by all means. He never liked Ambody. Ambody wanted to succeed himself to the second term. They hedged him out of office. They never wanted him again. They put Sanwo-Olu. So it's Sanwo-Olu's time now. So Sanwo-Olu shouldn't even be angry. After all, they put him there without the consent of his own predecessor. That's the way I see it. So it's become a pattern already in Lagos. And then if they are paying him, like Yoruba will say, Abati won't fi no yale, Oshiwa loke fun yawo, meaning that the cane that they used to flog.
What about the sorry, Ogbeni, what about the speculations of Sheyi Tinubu? Because there's also a theory that theorizes that Ambode is actually a Sheyi Tinubu strategy, because Ambode only has one term left, and then they can ground in Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu to succeed Ambode, with that then removing that nepotism of forcing him in now whilst his father is still president. So do you see Ambode being somewhat a long-term Sheyi Tinubu strategy?
Do you Oma, let me start from you. Do you believe that story? Do you believe that? I don't believe. I think it's one of those conspiracy theories.
I believe it very much. I believe it everyone.
One man has been mouthing this for months now, and I laugh.
I don't believe it now, Leko. I don't know. Well, I don't know much about Lagos politics, but I don't believe. I don't believe that Sheyi Tinubu is even well bred enough for now, or fortified enough for Lagos for next. Maybe he should continue learning for the next 8 years, maybe. But I don't see him. I don't see the Lagos governor in Sheyi for now. When do we start hearing about Sheyi? Just a few years ago now. So I don't see that woman. And then bringing Ambode back. Okay, the question I want to ask you is this. You know, they have this way they rotate in Lagos too. So have you considered the rotation thing? Where is Sheyi Tinubu coming from? Where is Ambode coming from? Or is it that they're going to distort what they've been using before? I don't know how it works. Baba will know more. Maybe Island and this, and they are moving it.
I've told woman the dynamics is the tone of their worries. Actually, whether their worries in Lagos State as mapped or in Ogun State, it is the tone of their worries.
Is that the deputy, sir?
That is deputy, and of course, is the tone of also a Muslim. So Hamzat qualifies. He is a Muslim, and also is an Awuri, true and true.
I've been hearing that guy. I've listened to that guy severally. It's well exposed, so fast on
he's been there at the corridor.
Yeah, he speaks well, and so if I don't see Sheyi, and I don't even see Sheyi even winning Bode Road Rival. If Bode is coming back again, they can't make that mistake of pushing somebody out that will not. One man, you've not listened to Sheyi talk before. Sheyi is not somebody who is.
No, I've only recently heard his voice actually, and I was quite disappointed. I thought. I thought there was a praise. No. I think it's too much or more that he is like a deporter or something. But
you should expect that now. He's just a young man. He's a young man. He will learn now. He's just like Dimeji Bankole when he was in House of Rep.
No, but he's pompous.
Yeah, he is. If you pick Dimeji today, one man, I don't know if you've listened to Dimeji recently. If you pick Dimeji today and you now conflict it, you now compare to Dimeji of then, you see that people really grow and learn into maturity. He now speaks now with much, better maturity. Speak as hey, this. So when they put age in the constitution for all these positions, they understood what they were doing, you know. So I don't see Sheyi yet in that space. Yes, it's coming up. Yes, they're probably grooming him for something good. Maybe you should start with House of Assembly first, and let's see where that takes him to. But for that, one man I don't see. I think there's another interesting story I want to contribute. I can't. One man, maybe you remind me. I can't find it again, and I think. Okay, I think it's
we
about.
were talking.
You talk about Adeboye. Let me quickly talk about Adeboye. You know, I like talking in those spaces of all
Yes,
these.
yes. Hold on. For the benefit of people just coming into the conversation, there was a clip that came out sometime today that highlighted just the level of money that goes into these churches, citing RCCG as an example.
Have different redeemed, but this I'm talking about the Redeemed Christian Church of God. That the GO and Pastor Adeboye is the general overseer. We do monthly remittance. Quote me anywhere you go. We do monthly remittance, and in that monthly remittance, weekly activities, attendance, income, Sunday services, attendance, income, all go to Lagos.
So why is it a news?
No, it's just the level of money. If you think of there is a global brand, and if you think all those global brands are remitting 10% into the central purse every single month, then it's quite frightening.
Can I say what I want to say?
All right, man, go ahead.
I've heard the voice where I hear na Baba voice. Baba, welcome. Oh, you don't take. So, I'm sure you people did not follow what is happening in Nigeria for a long time, because one man, some news you bring here is actually funny. Most people who has been monitoring what is going on in Nigeria knows that. I'll give you a typical example. In the year 1998 or 1999, there's something that happened in Ghana. Me and my uncle, we went to Ghana for a business he did that got somehow into trouble. So he went to see the Ghanaian president there. I'm saying this because this is a global platform. And when we got there was a complaint he gave to my uncle. And that was actually ridiculous because I was surprised. He was surprised to complain about such a thing. Now, what was the problem? There was a Ghanaian pastor in what's the other church? One is Redeemed, the other one.
Adeboye Oyedepo's church.
Thank you.
That one, they are putting money in tires.
The one that has two names. Okay? Say that's Adeboye.
Winners Chapel.
He was my uncle's friend then. He has two names. He has Living Faith Church. So
yeah.
That man was a Nigerian. He's a pastor, but a Ghanaian in Nigeria. He was
the number 2 then.
Well, I don't know whether he's number 2, but his name is Pastor Ajeman. I could remember vividly.
I know, I remember.
So he was transferred to Ghana. You know, he does it like cross-posting. So when the guy got to Ghana, he was saying that the instruction was that all the money they make in Ghana, they should pursue it, like offering everything, bag it and send to Nigeria. And the guy was like, why would I do that? The guy took the Winners Chapel in Lagos, in Ghana, with the help of the Ghanaian president today.
No, the scandal then was like, okay, they asked the the Ghanaian pastor.
Now, Baba be that. Baba did.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That how do you send the monies to Lagos? And they said they will change it into dollars.
No. The guy sends his private jet.
No, they will change it, not the CDs. They will change the CDs into dollars, and then they carry it over. I think the guy created his own church, and Oyedepo came to Ghana and stayed for about 2-3 months.
He took the church.
From him, the guy created his own church.
No, he took the church.
Okay.
He took that winner's church with the help of the Ghana. This is a story I know very well. He took that branch. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that remember. Branch they sent him in Ghana, he took it. It became his own with the help of the Ghanaian president. So, woman, that thing is not actually news. They waited for the guy, they said, let him come and collect now.
Okay. So this is my contribution. Is one man see there?
All right. Let's get back to Ogbeni, and then from Ogbeni we'll go on to Lowry. Ogbeni, back to you.
So this is my contribution, one man. Every church you see is an organization, it's an institution. Institutions have logistic and way they organize both finances, administration, their spiritual order, their doctrines, and others. They are filled of human beings. Human beings need organization. Without organization, there'll be disorder, right? So for the churches, in the UK where I am here, churches also have organizations. Under their laws here, churches are registered as charity, right? So as charity, they get offering, they get tithes, they get all these things also in Oyinbo churches. And then they must use it towards the the objective of the charity. Now, for every single Oyinbo church, if they have branches and they have parent church, they send everything they collect also to the parent church. Why? Because that's the central body of the charity. So when they send it to the central church fashion out ways in which they use their monies. All right. For instance, here, let's pick a church, one Oyinbo church. Let's say they have branches in Aberdeen, they have branch all over Birmingham and everything, because they register as one charity. So it goes to a central post. When they take it to their central post, the central body may decide, the trustee of that charity may decide to say, look, this time around we are spending money on cancer, and say, okay, 60% of everything we've made should be on cancer. Then they go to the cancer, maybe UK Cancer Center and all this, and say we are donating. Some may say care, some may say to the Health Fund and others. And some may also say to their members who are in need, widows and others, spend all these monies on them and everything. That's the way institutions are organized, also as charity. Now, in Nigeria, what do we find? Yes, they're also organized, but first issue we have in Nigeria is that there are no robust laws to even organize them. Why? Because the pastors most time, Christians generally, don't let me even say pastors in Nigeria, we gaslight our lawmakers. If they wake up today and they said they want to be taxing, me, I'm one of those who said there are some activities in church that should be taxed. In, let me say, religious bodies, let me just pick church alone, that should be taxed. One of it that I always say is this: if you're a pastor, you preach, no problem. But the moment you reduce what you preach into a book, for instance, and you are selling books, a lot of them sell books and they are making millions on books. That say you are making from that book now is a business. It's intellectual
and
property.
The oil and the mantle. Yeah, yes. That's the handkerchief.
All those things, all those articles they sell. Now they call it mantle in Pentecostal. In Catholic, we used to call it sacramentals. So it's not new to Christianity. It has been there over years. Scapula, rosary, all those things they sell also in the Orthodox. So, but all those articles you sell, you shouldn't be exempted from tax. That's my stance. Because you also like somebody who's selling something in the market. Yes, it is a spiritual area, but yeah, you're selling something. So you should be taxed. So I find it difficult when, if today FRSC said I want to be taxing churches, you see Christians coming out and say, why are you taxing church? That's blasphemy, that's against, that's antichrist. What's antichrist in it? They are human organize themselves into different bodies. It's just like I have my own parapo now, Ekiti, that I attend. So whatever activities we are doing there, we should do it under the law. That's the way I see it. So now, coming to their organization, there are some churches, they open each branch under the law. For instance, here in UK, each of them, they just use a name like franchise. So if that is the kind of way you organize your own church, you're not expected to be sending money to the central body, which is the parent body, the parent charity. So you are expected to each branch to be responsible to the company house and the HRMC, which is the body here like our FRSC, who will come and audit your accounts, right? And then they keep doing that. Then when you are getting gift aid, for instance, in UK, if you are registered generally, they only go to your head office to go and get what have people contributed this year. Then this is the legal aid, is it gift aid that you're entitled to. Unfortunately,
that was what brought Ashimolowo down.
Yes,
when
yes,
he was investigated in UK.
Yes, because he organized his church in a way that he didn't follow their law. And when they spotted that, they edged out all his trustees and they put their own trustees there. But
they even questioned why the wife is using a Jaguar.
Yes. But in our space, what's the problem with our space? Our problem, and that's why I like separating this institution from those leading it. And that's why one man will always label me as one of those who defend all these pastors. No. The reason why I do this is, first and foremost, I know pastors are human beings. When I was in Catholic, I know that Pope and my Reverend Fathers are human beings. I've caught Reverend Father with a lot of silly things before. But would that stop me from going to Catholic church? No. Because they don't form the church. They are not the church. One day they will die. The church is still there. It's an institution that is coming to stay. It's just like the government that you have people there. Tinubu is not Nigerian government. It's just occupying office. Whatever thing you do it 8 years, you're gone. That's the way I see it. Christ Apostolic Church is still there today. Ayobabala has gone how many years ago? But the institution is still standing. So that's the way I see it. So now, if they said redeem, the way we organize our things, if their own constitution say every money you make from every branch go to the central, the question I ask is, what's wrong in that? If they put pastor in a branch and that pastor is collecting salary right from up there, then it behoves on you that whatever you are collecting from the branch, then you take it to the up there, because that's where they pay you salary.
But like you said, though, most of these churches are franchises. It's not usually.
No, not all.
Yes,
not all. So they are organized.
A lot of them are, though.
I don't think so. The way they organize Living Faith is not the way they organize Redeem. It's not the way they organize Assemblies of God. It's not the way they organize On the Rock. It's not. So they have different organizations.
I beg to disagree with you.
You said?
When you said, there are two things you said.
All right.
If I can come in.
Okay, come in, please.
Mm-hmm. You talked about the finances and how it was distributed.
Yeah.
Maybe you are speaking in the arm of Pentecostality. It's Pentecostalism on the one you belong to.
Yeah.
But I have worked with them for several years.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't how it was. I had a very big issue in the way they handle their finances.
Okay.
It shows an enormous greed and control that shouldn't be. I'll give you an example. If you are in a church and then there is groups in the church, I'm giving that Living Faith as an example. Yeah. There is groups in the church like the sanitation, blah, blah, blah. They come, they clean all those widows, all those jobless, unemployed, they're in that group. And all of a sudden, that group decide to contribute little money because some of their group members have problems. And they contributed money and gave them to start business.
Yeah.
I'm telling you a real life story and an eyewitness. And these women that are widows came to the church and started giving testimony because they were brainwashed to give testimony at every little thing. So they gave testimony that, look, I belong to sanctuary department. When my husband died, they contributed money for me, Now my rice business is doing, this one say my yo-yo rice is doing, this one said my akara business is booming, and then I have to give glory to God for using those men. Oyedepo had, because he listens, he's a crafty person. He had those testimony and told them to stop. That if there's any money that is being raised, I'm not saying this. God in heaven is my witness. I don't really need to call God anyway. You don't need to believe me anyway. They said any money contributed to in that church should be sent directly, just as you said, to the headquarters, and let the headquarters send it to their welfare department. That is not actually functioning anyway. That is all big stories. We know how it works. Then those women should apply and should be given that thing. So I have issues when you say they put their money into the headquarters. There are certain monies that man put his eyes on that is not supposed to put. The second thing you said that I decided.
So before you go to second thing, let me join you with you on the first one. Well, I don't know which one you're talking about. I was a church administrator of Winners Chapel for 7 years before I left, and that is not how things work. So I don't know the one you're talking about. Now, this is the way it works, from my own understanding. Now, what goes to their central board? In fact, to start with, nothing goes from UK outside UK, because there's a law on charity in UK that you can't take money. In fact, you can't take money from England to Scotland. You can't take money from Scotland to Wales. You can't. You must, whatever you collect in Scotland, you spend it in Scotland. Whatever you collect in England, you spend in England, because of the law. And I think that came after that Ashimolo thing and others. So they are tightening their laws. Now, even in Nigeria, this is the way it works. So as a church, they have welfare committee. What do? Welfare committee doesn't collect money from members. Welfare committee, every year, they draw a budget. Every unit in the church have their budget. The budget is what they are expecting to spend this year. So the welfare committee, depending on how big the church is, okay? If it's a very big church, they can draw a budget and say this year, we are expecting to have, let's say, 5 million naira from the central purse to help our members in case there's a need, if they have needs. When they draw that budget, they have a body that approves their budget. Choir, different bodies will also have their budget. Sanctuary, all of them, different communities have their budget. They draw money from the central. That's the way they organize their church. They put their own money in the central purse. They draw money from the central. They release it to their church. It's in the church. Now, whenever they need it, let's say, for instance, somebody died, or let's say, for instance, somebody is doing housewarming or whatever, somebody wants to go to school, gain admission, but couldn't pay money, a lot of issues do arise. You now apply to the welfare committee. The welfare committee, those welfare committee will now sit. How much do we have in our budget? If we have XYZ in our budget, this person wants to do a burial, how much do we want to use to help the person? They calculate, okay, it's 200,000 we can use to help the person, release 200,000 to the person. The person that want to do, is it 50,000? We want to, okay, release 50,000. Complaint that do come most time is that I need 1 million, you are giving me 50,000 naira. That's the complaint I know that do come. That is for welfare committee. They are not collecting money from members.
I want to ask you two questions.
No, let me just land on this. Let me land on this. So when within your home, you are now contributing. The rule with the Winners Chapel, by their own rule, is that it is not the business of the church, because the church doesn't even encourage you to.
You know what I will do? I will tell Sonny to send me that letter.
Okay, you can
I
get
will scan it and send to you. Bring it here.
Okay, so let me land on.
It's a stern warning.
Okay, that's good. Let me land on this. So don't forget I've said that they don't collect money from members and take it to the central. I will be expecting that letter. So, but when members now within themselves, which we do in my church, okay, want to contribute, for instance, somebody is sick, they now have different groups. For instance, in my group now, I was WhatsApp group of members of, let's say, sanctuary, let's say choir, let's say technical, let's say people, different groups. They can say, to help this particular member, let's contribute. When they contribute, that is not the business of the church. It doesn't go to their central.
You didn't seem to understand the story I told you. I said that sanctuary group I will have to be specific.
They contributed money for their member.
They formed something like their own welfare, because that welfare that I'm talking about is a kangaroo. So they formed their own welfare, like, because they have a lot of big shots in that sanctuary that come every Saturday morning to help believing on whatever they believe in. So they form their own welfare, like share staff, mobile staffs that work in there, looking at these women washing toilets and all those things, cleaning everywhere. They form their own welfare.
Yeah.
From in every month, they will contribute some certain amount and give to this one. You that said you want to do this thing, take this one, take and start.
Okay.
The women, I'm getting really angry about it. The women went to the church and gave testimony. And
about that thing that they started.
And that testimony was aired. They got a stern warning, everything from Oyedepo, that if there is any money, like welfare money, that is the question I want to ask you. Any
that's no welfare money now.
Any welfare money, you want to do welfare, that you shouldn't form a welfare outside of the welfare of the of the church.
Yes, that one.
That if you want to form a welfare, you should bring it to the church. And there is two questions I want to ask you. The first one was, do church members in Winners donate money to the welfare?
No, they draw money from central purse.
Okay.
Well, let me throw some light in this, Ogbeni and AI, because I have experience actually.
We have to try and bring Larry in at some point. Larry is
I was
waiting,
going to
so
call on
we
him.
have to start.
You see, this is it, AI. This is what is happening.
Let me
AI.
ask the second question, then I end my case.
Okay.
Please, can you tell me the year Winners Chapel started authorizing the members of the church to go for the burial of their dead members?
I don't know. I joined.
The year 2021. It started with Otobobo, one weighty man who is he has an oil well. He died in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
They said, your senior pastor said, let the dead bury their dead. They don't go to burial. The first burial in Winners, the Winners people came. You know, I don't know who is a Christian here. You know how church people go for their members' burial?
Yes.
Taking charge of everything, singing the choir. Winners Chapel for the rest of their existence never did that. They started it in the year 2021. Go and check your record. But
you are moving from one topic to another.
No, Ogbeni, let me tell you my own experience.
Let's stay with the finance topic now.
No. I rest my case.
You are going to their doctrine. That's not where I'm going to.
Wait, Ogbeni, what they blame most of these pastors for heading branches to, it's not about the head office. It's about the pastors. They try to outdo one another by packing all the money to impress the head office so that they can post them to juicy churches. This is my own personal experience, because I fall out from what I call my home church. I will not mention the name. Church I attended for so many years. To the extent there is welfare department, there's children department, and there is a choir department. And first, what I observed was, like on Sundays, we hire trumpeters, guitarists, and gong players. And
you pay them?
Yeah, we pay them. But then you find out that at the end of the service, they will come to individuals amongst us that are healed to say, okay, we've not paid the trumpeter, and the guy is going to make a sin. This is his money. This is how much we need to pay now. And at a point, I now started asking that, what about all the even the offering for today? Why can't you take from the collection? You understand? They say, pastors have taken it into the what we call the pastor's office. So I started querying it to the extent that what pissed me off, two things. The children's department, I bought all the electronics, musical instruments, everything, including TV, everything. Then the pastor was transferred, the children's pastor, and he said he's going to take everything away. Because to the other church he has been posted to that they don't have those equipments there.
Is he inheritance?
So himself and the pastor, they fought and came to my office. And I don't know how to judge that kind of thing. So I have to tell the pastor, please allow him to go with it. I'll buy another one. I have to buy another one entirely.
Hi.
You get my point. These are the to the extent that when we finish the renovation of the church, air conditioner, new altar and everything, and the day of launching, it was raining. And I can't remember exactly what was required that day, not very big money. And they came to me around 1 when the program was supposed to start, 2 in the afternoon after church service to say, this is they need this money. And I started to ask that, okay, let's take from the church purse. Tomorrow, let's send somebody to me so I can give them the money. And they said, no money. Where's the pastor? Pastor, come. Can't you take from the cover? He said he has taken everything to the headquarters. I was done at that moment. I was done. This is what they do at times. It's not the fault of the head office. At times, it's the fault of the pastors themselves, the resident pastors. Yeah.
Baba, thank you for throwing light into that. You see, that's why for me, generally, I've said it. There are different churches with their own, how do I put it now, hierarchy and the way they organize themselves. Churches organize themselves differently. If I'm attending a church and I think the way you organize yourself is not okay with me, I go to the one that organize themselves in a way that are tuned with mine. I won't stay aloof and be castigating those ones because there will be rationale for a reason why they organize themselves that way. I was born a Catholic and I was a Catholic in my 30s, right? The way they organize things in Catholic, I love it so much. I always tell people, I say, Pentecostals should start learning from Catholic. Maybe when they do 100 years, any of them, maybe when they do 100 years and they now see because many things you see, many ways you see how Catholic organize themselves today with the doctrines you see in Catholic today is born out of experience of many years. They go to their, what do you call it? And they keep refining their doctrine, refining how they organize themselves. At a point in time, we were facing the altar, now we face people, all those things, they keep changing it. Before Latin alone, later English. Okay, now you can use your own traditional way to do all those things. Born out of different experiences. And I think the Pentecostals also are evolving. But the problem here I have is this. As you are evolving, then you should evolve with time. That's what I see that is not really happening. When you see people criticizing Pentecostals today, I just laugh because it's expected. Why? Because when these guys were having problem internally, they particularly those head of those churches, they are so dictatorial that they don't get feedback from their people. Their home don't criticize them. And if you don't want critique within, in order for you to be able to evolve, you surely get all this backlash that you are getting from people like One Man and others. Because you don't allow those ones under you to criticize you and be able to come out with a better way of doing things. I've handled cases for few churches in Nigeria that were fighting over properties because of because of lack of ignorance of their past leader from just honorably writing constitution for the church. Just honor constitution, just put a template and just write and say, if I die, oh, this is the next person to me, and this is the next person to me, and this is the next person to me. So that if anything happens, everybody knows what is the line of succession. Because of that, you see, they go to court, and all those cases you see, CAC, Celestial, those you see, they mess themselves up before the court. But if you now have some that say, okay, let's organize ourselves, let's put our finance together. Let's every money from these branches go to central. Then let's have a welfare committee. And let's welfare committee write their budget. And let them forecast it on the needs of this year. So if throughout 2024, if our need in our welfare committee, what is the problem that is coming from our members is in the range of $1 million to 1.2 million. We can say, okay, central, give us 1.2 or 1.5 million for this year on a standby. If people have issues, then we can draw from it. Now, if people comes, and you don't have that capacity. What they do most time, they get to the center and say, we have people like this. Central means, no, this is the budget we have given you for the years. Let's also organize ourselves the way parastatals and institutions also organize themselves so that we can have our budget. In the UK here, external auditors from HMRC do come to check our accounting books, and we'll bring it out. These are much. I mean, these are what went to the parent charity. They go and check with parent charity. Okay, what have you given out? Okay, this is what they have given out this year. Which charity did you give it to? Okay, we gave this one to cancer. We gave it one to Arts Foundation. We gave it to. They go and verify all those things. And it is when they see all your I's dot and your T cross and everything, they give you kudos. And then you're waiting for the next year or anytime they will come and visit your churches. So where I'm going generally is this. The church needs self-regulation within. We don't have in Nigeria. Here they have. The church needs to know, particularly Christians need to know, that we can't be producing zombies, that any little thing they must defend the church. No. We need self-critic. People that must criticize the church we need. If not, you get yourself exposed to outsiders to be criticizing you. That's what I have seen. And lastly, if we see any problem in, you see them organizing their finances, there are reasons why they organize themselves there. So we have to ask a reason first and say, okay, what's the reason why you organize yourself in this way? Then we can now criticize based on that. But to lump all of them in one, because I've realized, particularly all my friends now who are in Catholic, they will be criticizing Pentecostal. The Pentecostal will be criticizing Catholic, all of you just criticizing yourself. Meanwhile, everybody, you have issues one way or the other. Somebody was telling me, says, why are they using mantle? I said, what's the difference between mantle and sacramentals? What's the difference between handkerchief that they are using and then the scapula that you are wearing? There's no difference. They are all earthly materials. But which you believe is spiritual because you pray over it, or it carries some spiritual forces. So let everybody be. If you don't belong, then just look at it and just say your own and go. So that's the way I see it, one man. So I don't think everything, the way we always paint it as if it's going to Babadebo, yes, and pause. What will he hit? Can Babadebo eat more than 10 bowls of pandayam in a day? The answer is no. All these guys are the employers of neighbor. The answer is big yes in Nigeria. They are big employers of labor. Yeah.
Are you following still? And Zita, you can come in as well. I think Larry has decided to go to bed instead.
Are you to Madam Zita? Are you to Madam Zita?
All right. So Zita, take the floor. We don't have an abundance of news, but we're just generally talking. So Ruben Abati comes out to try and defend his name, but he lands himself even more in it than he extricates himself. He was telling us he was at a book launch when his colleagues were telling us he was off sick. So that space still developing. So there's that. And then the PDP, they are begging Opi to come back. So whether he comes back or not, I'm not quite sure what that would even mean, but maybe some progression for him, but does that let him in Nassau Rock? And then that pastor that was brandishing a gun and the Holy Ghost fires, the Thought Not My Anointed, ably led by Ogbeni Kole, leaps to his defense. So it's a bit like Trump, isn't it? They're saying that he can shoot people in Times Square. All those pastors, they can. You know, they were saying it was a taser, it was a this, that, and the other. Then they spun the story just completely out of loop. So we're looking at that as well.
Who?
No, you might not be following the story. It's a Fade Farasin that was threatening somebody with a gun.
So where is his Holy Ghost fire?
No. It was caught on camera brandishing what looked like a gun. Because the social media space is now reacting against it, he has now tried to rebrand it as his followers now. They are saying it's a taser, it's a this. Ogbeni Kole is even telling us it's a massage tool. And when it was clearly a gun,
man, why are you misinterpreting what I say now? One man. I said it could be anything, and I told you a massage gun I have in my car. If somebody see it, we think it's a gun. You know massage gun now, that short one is in my car because I travel a lot. So I always put it on my back. So somebody now and he said, "I said, come on now, wow."
Oh, when that thing doesn't look like a
You see, so you
Mama, I send you. I send
that
you.
look like
I send
that
you a
looks like
link.
something
Can you open that link I send you? You see the one I told you.
Yeah, yes, I saw it. Yes. When did you send it? In the private chat?
Anyway,
Yes, in the private chat.
let me. Which one will I start now? Yeah, I don't want Ruben Abati and Co. They've been screwing trash since I know them. Anyway, what I'm saying is they want to be in PDP to become their presidential candidate, right?
Well, they're inviting him back, and then ultimately that will be the yes.
Let them invite him back now to be their presidential candidate. So Atiku is no longer contesting. Hello.
He's still contesting, no, Madam Sita.
Atiku is still contesting.
He's contesting now.
And Makinde is still contesting. Makinde is contesting.
Is Makinde contesting?
Nobody knows what his moves are. He's just
Makinde is contesting for president. He's contesting for president. So Makinde is contesting under PDP. But anyway, it will be good now because if he goes to PDP, they're not going to give him the presidential ticket. Because PDP is like the way they gave it to him in Labour Party. PDP is an organized, it's a functional party. That's the word that we use. So he's going to contest for the primaries, right? Oh my, they talk again. So they will do primaries now.
Yes, now.
No, I'm not sure that even if they do it, even if they do it, it will be a ceremonial sort of primaries.
Not in PDP. Not in PDP. PDP that Wike almost took the primary from Atiku last time.
Peter Obi won't come back to the PDP or Peter Obi, sorry, Zita. Peter Obi won't come back to the PDP unless he has some assurances that they will give him the ticket.
PDP is not a party to be trusted with such a thing. In a smaller party, yes. Parties like SDP, ACN, LP, ABGA, parties like that, yes. If they tell you, okay, come and run as our presidential candidate, that's almost 80% a done deal. But not PDP and APC. Because actually, those are the two parties Nigeria they actually do have. So they're going to do an open convention where you will see those votes counted. So it's not going to be something they hand over to you. Somebody like Wike is a madman. He can decide to come and contest. It's not on those two parties. Any other party, yes. That's why I said it's better for them to form a coalition and then pick somebody and do that kangaroo the way they did in 2015. Look for somebody they think that can fly and put him there. But if they're going to PDP, it won't work. They should form a coalition or use one of those small parties like ABGA or probably LP or SDP or ACN. They use it and then pick a candidate and say, this is going to be our candidate. But what is wrong in LP, ACN, SDP, ABGA forming together to form something like APC? Why not if not? What is wrong with them? They
It's
can
getting
come
too
together.
late. It's getting too late for them to have a new political party now.
Why is it late?
I think under the electoral act there's a time limit, and they are
No,
still
it's not late.
amending
I think it's September now.
I think they are proposing a shorter time in the new amendment. So if they put their head inside it now, that would trigger that amendment to be shorter, and they shut them out. That's what I'm envisaging can happen in the amendment.
I thought have they started submitting their party names?
No, not yet.
I thought that thing should be September this year. Or June next. I can't remember. But election campaign starts September next year, right?
Yes.
That's the only thing I like in politics is that electioneering period where they do campaign. That's the only thing that I like, because I like to sit down and watch them and listen to them.
Do you really see our campaign that interesting?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I see campaigns all over the world. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is the only thing I like in politics. That campaigning, going around, all those rallies, all those town hall sessions, and all those. I don't know. I like it a lot. It helps me to determine who is a don among them. The organization alone shows you the direction each of them is going. The way they organize themselves shows you the direction, who is determined and who is just playing around, and who is determined and focused, and who is determined but not focused. It's in that campaign you see them. You see them with their supporters, and the one that is determined and focused, you will see how he manages his supporters. It's common, nice, easy. I enjoy it a lot. I used to tell people, and people say that's the part of politics that are annoying them. I said, no, that's the part that I really enjoy. Anywhere in the world, I really enjoy. I can never be part of that crowd, but I like watching them. I like watching, and I like those arguments their supporters do make, ridiculous arguments.
Blah 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 blue blah blah.
You will see somebody talking, you will know that
you know I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this. Zita, I'm looking forward to 2027 more than ever any other election.
Seriously,
it's going to be so interesting how that plays
not
out.
only you, not only you, Oma. Don't spare our life.
2027 is not gonna be that interesting. I don't think so. Because do you know why?
Yeah, why?
There are certain desperate politicians that are So sorry, Zita, you tell us why. There are so many people that it's the last throw of the dice for them. So they're going to throw everything at 20. Peter Obi will throw everything. Atiku will throw everything. El Rufai will throw everything. Because it's the last game for them. So it'd be interesting. I want to see how they play it out anyway.
Okay. Why did I say it will not be? Why did I say it will not be interesting? The guy has he has crippled them financially. So it's not gonna be that interesting. Honestly, in as much as he's trying to secure his future, but I could see that it's going to deprive me of that joy of seeing them moving from state to state, local government to local government, standing in the people, screwing trash, having to forget what they want to say, having to turn words and phrases upside down because of crowd fright, moving, not being able to be vigorous. You can see some of them are not focused. They're not okay. Some are running with one issue campaign and things like that. I think I'm not gonna see it in 2027 because this guy, this crook in Aso Rock has strangled them financially. They not own is the last blow. Because for you to see that thing, one man, they usually open their vault. Most politicians in Nigeria, they have vault of money, cash. They usually open their vault to do those campaigns. That's why I always tell them, and PDP members are the most stingy politicians I have ever seen in Nigeria. They're very stingy. They don't bring out money like out of pocket. Somebody like the former, I always call him because I've stumbled to see what he's worth. The former Senate president, that PDP guy, that guy can give
David
APC
Mark?
for, yes, but he's not gonna do that. That man rat the shopping money, I dey tell you. Rat the shopping money, but he will not do that. Those are the people that will bring out money, join with Atiku money. Ha! If those two men open their vault, then had it been they still have River State, have Delta State, and have Akwa Ibom, it's going to be Sororara. I'm telling you, they will deface the Nigerian economy if Tinubu decide to use our money to run with them. I'm telling you, but they won't do that. Why? I don't know why PDP people will do that. The moment they steal all those money, they take it. They are not bringing it out for future. No, they don't. Except when they want to contest. And election is not something you run with your individual money. You can't go far. More especially when you are not too sure you're gonna win. You must be a really risk taker. Look at what Tinubu did in 2015. He brought out his money. The guy opened his vault. He opened his, if they were determined and focused, money was, can you imagine that? I had Obama writer.
No, not even 2023, Zita. He opened his vault in 2015. Even Buhari was shocked.
Yes. They hired Obama speakers, Obama organizers. They were telling them what to do. They were moving. Man, they brought in coastal, air-conditioned coastal buses, tinted, bulletproof. Who will do that in 2027, I beg?
When they can't even pay their ground rent for their head office.
Who will do that in 2027? Well, I never can tell. It's too early. You never can tell. But they really have to open their vault. They have to open their vault. I'm not seeing any of them doing that because this guy has financially crippled them. He has taken rivers from them, taken Akwa Ibom from them, taken.
And those are three key states with money. Even Rivers is coming.
Yes.
So 4 states with heavy money.
Yes. He has crippled them financially. So that's why it's like that dangling. Maybe those governors were doing it intentionally. Like, am I the one that will use my state money? You know, that kind of a thing. To put in a mission, I'm not too sure. You people will win. Then I lose everything. So I think those governors are not even pushed to do that. I think they're doing it to secure the money of their state. Maybe. And secure their pocket. You never can tell. Because if Eno is still a PDP man, it is going to weigh heavily on him. Come 2027. I'm telling you, they'll be running to him for money.
Yeah.
So they're running away. They know why they're running away. They know why they're running away. So it's one man. I don't think it will be that interesting. I don't think so. But let's look. Let's see. I don't think it will be like 2015. I don't think it's going to be like 2023. 2023 was fun for those who were. It's kind of, at some point, it was annoying and irritating. But still, I was watching. Every day I watch what is going on for the day. If you watch those rallies, you will know who is serious.
AB, you know well, you say I dey fear. I not fear. Because you people for that not to be suicide squad. Sorry about that, AI.
Huh?
No, he's saying, with all this money, Baba is still scared of the North. Haba. So I was just replying him.
No, the thing is, most Nigerians from the South, they don't seem to understand the North. In the whole of Nigeria, I think Northerners are the only ones that are politically savvy. if there's a word like that. They love politics, they are part of politics, and they do their calculation very well.
How about saying they love power?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. And they are more reliable than the rest of Nigeria when it comes to agreement. I give it to them. They are more. When Tinubu was campaigning with them, I heard all they told him. And at that point, I knew that he might not win states there, but he might get his 25%. I knew what they were telling him. I was listening. Even if you don't understand what they were telling them, if you read the room and read their body language, you will understand that it's like, look, guy, we're not gonna shut you down, but we will make sure you get enough, which if you carry, you can win.
But does that sufficiently make them honest politically?
Yeah,
when they want to bring in
I think,
the former Senate president to contest in the primary?
Yeah, you are right. There can be honest politicians in the sense that if you that's the kind of thing I could see the South trying to build now. The South are trying to build that honesty. Honestly, sincerely speaking, they are doing a great job. They are trying to build that honesty, whereby actually, from what I'm seeing, if care is not taken, the South might replace either South, North Central, or Northeast. Politicians will rely on them, like, let me get South in case if I lose Northeast. I'm telling you, they're preparing that, and they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. If it's before, or not, for not do this public decamping, no. Hey, South and East, they are ardent PDP people. What did PDP do for them? Nothing. But I don't understand such politics of hate and bitterness. You are losing everything. You are still angry. I don't know, but it is what it is. Let's see how it works. Another thing I was looking at is what is happening in the Sahel region. You know, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Zita. We're listening.
I can hear you.
What is happening in the Sahel region? I heard that the Russians have left Mali. They've left Mali.
I think it's the Wagner group of the Russians. The regular soldiers are still there.
Let me explain.
But there are few.
Which people will I? Okay, let me use Nigeria as an example. You know Jaji boys. You know Jaji.
Yeah.
Jaji is a training military. Trainers. Let me use that word. If Nigeria send people from Jaji to a country, they are not sending them to go and fight. They can't send Jaji to go and fight. Or to go and secure.
And with technical advisors.
Nigeria can only, to go and train. But if Nigeria move a cantonment to a country, is for security, for front. So the Wenger group is for that war. I heard that this rat tags murdered a lot of them. They withdrew because when was my colleague telling me? It was last 2 weeks or last week, we were discussing about what is happening in their area. He told me that their mother, I think, 100. I said, wow. He said, yes.
Yeah.
Because
correct information. Yeah, I think it's more than that. It's even more than that.
No, it's in Burkina
They were
Faso
easy
that
targets.
they paid 200 in Burkina Faso.
Mm-hmm.
But in Mali, I think it's about a little close to 100. If you add those that are brutally wounded in the sense that they might be amputated in the future, it's close to 100. So, which include those Wenger group, because if it's my husband will tell you that even them, they don't know suicide bombing. Who is sleeping?
Nobody. Maybe one man. one man is the only one that is not talking now.
One man, go on pause now.
One man don't sign out. I know mood self.
Nature now
one
one.
to go. Now the Baba Debo you feel the fire like.
When he finished with the Adoboye, he dozed off.
He doesn't pity those people. Fire them.
I'm not dozed off. Yeah, what do you mean dozed off?
No,
you are the one that dozed off now.
It's like you are sleeping.
Oh, what was I?
You doze off now.
Baba, we were hearing Baba's voice.
Oh, is it Baba? It's you now?
No, not me. I'm wide awake.
No, it's not Baba now. We are talking. Baba was talking. It's only you that was quiet.
He's one man.
He's one man. So. So, my brother, so what actually was their gain in what they did? That's the question I'm asking. I know most people will not like it.
I agree.
What did they gain from what they did?
That's it. That's the question. That's a big question for them. The Sahel people.
Because we are there expecting somebody to beg them or what? You pull that from ECOWAS. You pull that from Franco, what do they call that thing?
Sorry, Zita. Sorry, Zita. Let me send the link into the comment section. Anybody that wants to come in. I think we may well take it to the back. Like when he said, I'm already dozing off, so let me not doze off anymore. Just go to bed. That's Simba coming in there. Sorry, carry on, Zita.
Simba
don't land.
Simba don't land. Simba now all this short time, like 2, like 3, Simba they join.
Yeah? Where is Remy? Remy will soon
he will soon follow. You can sure when you see Simba, Remy is not too far away.
Remy too soon join. Short time.
And then when Remy and Simba come, you will see people coming in to attack them.
Yes, now they have to follow us. So I'm waiting for them.
But what do you think, Zita, of this controversy?
There's a new guy now that is targeting them, Patrick. Yeah.
The controversy of the Lagos-Calabar Highway, 20 kilometers. Simba, Bawo, Kale, happy weekend.
Simba ti land you.
Ọ̀gbẹ́ni.
Zita, what do you think of the controversy?
I was listening to your discussion yesterday. It was very entertaining. I liked it.
Of people refusing to believe the government explanation. Which is, they said, from Ahmadu Bello Way to Okunwaja, that's 20 kilometers completed. And then from Medialeko beach side, another 10 kilometers. But in between that 10 kilometers from the Eleko side and the Okunwaja, there is a gap of 17 kilometers, which in that place, they said they've filled it and they're waiting for it to settle, which will take months. There, they have to leave enough gap for the train station, and they have to also fly an overhead bridge and do a lot of stuff. That's why they did. But people are just looking at it and thinking the government had been deceitful. They are not being truthful. But fortunately for the government side, as far back as a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, Umai said the same thing exactly, that no, it's going to be in two spaces, 20 and 10 kilometers. And in between, we're still working on that axis. And yet they don't want to believe. They talk heads in the morning show. Let me finish. Even he's asking Umai, oh, we want to know the cost of every kilometer. And Umai say, look, the terrains are different. This is coastal area. In some areas, there are pits that have to be filled, and there are a lot of adjustments has to make. So I cannot give you cost per kilometer.
Are you surprised?
It's varied. I'm not surprised. You know that platform now. And I don't, this age and time.
Ask for my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
You've stated your fact. Let me say this. You see, for one, I do have problem with Nigerians on the way they present their issue. They present their own issue with anger filled with stupidity, and they present it with a lot of guts. First of all, it is stupid for you to ask how much each kilometer costs. You can ask how much the project is costing. That's okay. Every citizen of every country have the right to know how much a project costs. You shouldn't be asking from here to here, how much did it cost? From here to who are you doing a boardroom? Are you their boss? Or
I wonder.
Are you trying are you the investigator? You should know how much a project is costing in your country. And that should be enough for you as a citizen. That being said,
the minister should bring the cost of every kilometer.
And who the heck are they that he should bring? Bring it to who, if I may ask? To who?
They say bring it to their station. You've not seen them in the morning. Those talkheads.
They're idiots. Let me finish before I lose my thought. Saying that you build 30 kilometers here, 20 kilometers here, and you are giving reasons that you fill a place, and because of that place has to be undone. By the way, how many kilometers it is in all, if I may ask?
About 60 almost, or if you take that stretch to the last part, it's about 60 already.
So,
but in between that 60,
30.
They've done 30. Even the
And
30,
remaining 30.
No, the 20, they finished 20. Then the 17 kilometers, they are working on it. And
that's
they start
the only one left.
Yes, that's the only one left of the first phase.
Okay. Let me say this. When you talk to humans like as if they are idiots, they will ask you stupid questions to show you that they are actually idiots. Umahi is talking rubbish. That thing they're saying is absolutely rubbish. If actually what they're saying is true, they would have explained it in a better way, not the way they are explaining it. Because before you build a road, I repeat, before